Why, hello to all of you wonderful people. Hello, hello, hello. And thank you for coming today. This is just going to be a chat stream. I'm going to be answering questions, Q&A. I'm going to be hanging out. That's mostly the size of it. That's mostly everything that's going to happen is just hanging out. I hit 1,500 subscribers, and that's awesome. And yes, I feel like I'm officially a medium-sized VTuber now. And hello to everybody in chat. Hello to Democleus, and hello to Sapphire, and hello to Zethnerlith, and hello to Tuzzy, and hello to Hensha, and hello to Weaselry. You are all wonderful people, and I appreciate you. Interactive, Zeth says, as if, you know, I wasn't usually, because I'm not. I fully acknowledge that. I know that's probably a major shortcoming of mine, is that, oh, hello, Blue Elf, is that I'm not as generally interactive with chat as some other VTubers, and I think that might, I don't know. You know my reasons behind it, but I want to do more just chatting streams. I also feel weirdly surprised when people show up for these streams. You suspect we can get 2.5k by the end of the year? Well, I'm not alone. I mean, I will need help with that. I'll try, but I won't have another game jam bump to push it up. Because that's really one of the biggest things that pushes up my numbers is when the game jam rolls around every year. And we already had the Go Godot jam for this year, which is part of why I'm hitting 1,500 now. I'm the best VTuber because I'm one of the few that actually listens to YouTube chat. You know, I do listen to chat, and I do read chat. I don't engage with chat as much as some other VTubers because I want to make sure the experience is still excellent for the watcher after, right? I'm a YouTuber, and I know that not everybody who watches me live. I have an international audience. I literally have fans on every continent with the possible exception of Antarctica, and I wouldn't even be surprised to find out if some Antarctican scientist called out and was like, yo, sure. No matter how big you get, you will still remain a small, adorable kobold. I will try. I mean, I'll still be me, at least. And that's something that I've always said, is I've always said, I'm just me, and I hope that's good enough. And you know what? Sometimes it is. But yeah, I do try to interact with chat, but I'm still weird about making just chat streams because I feel like people won't show up. I genuinely feel like people might not show up for a just chatting stream because, I mean, why would you show up for a just chatting stream? It's just a VTuber talking. There's no game. There's no insightful commentary on game development and design. There's no, you know, designing a steampunk world for a convention that might never exist. There's no special guests and dramatic personae to showing up. So sometimes I feel surprised, I guess. I guess that's a good way of phrasing it. I feel surprised that people would show up for me with no bells and whistles. And yet here I am with more concurrent viewers than I've had for my past 3 streams. But so, I mean, I guess it works. I guess it just works. Conversation is fun. I agree wholeheartedly with that. I really do. It's just a just chatting stream doesn't have a plan. And I like to have a plan because then I can, you know, have things. Yo! Ripley coming in with 5 Australian. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. This month has been this month has been a bit rough, and that actually is very helpful. Thank you so much. I have a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm working on, and I figure I'll talk about that a bit as well as answer any questions. And if anyone has, you know, just want to spark up conversation and say ayo, then I will say ayo. And that's kind of the plan. Just kind of to say ayo back and forth for an hour and a half to 2 hours. You know, that's a good plan, right? Just say ayo back and forth. You know, someone said that I was interesting enough that I could just read out of a phone book and they would watch it. And it's like, I haven't had the guts to do it, but I'm still tempted to do that. I don't even know where I would find a phone book. I genuinely don't know where I would find a phone book in the year of our Lord 2022. Like, seriously, where am I going to find a classical phone book? I don't think that makes sense. but I do sometimes think about, you know, that person who said that. It's like, really? If that's true, then sure, I'll give that a shot. Why not, right? that's what I was going to do. I was going to grab... Oh, well. I forgot to grab beverage. I have no water. Ha! He can't tell me to hydrate. I don't have any water. Ha! Jade... Oh, that's... No. Oh, wait. That's perfect. No, Phantos, you're onto something. That's what we title it. It's, I will read from a phone book. It will be a doxing stream. That's exactly correct. It'll be a doxing stream. We need a yawn emote? That's actually true. Actually, that would be a really good idea. I don't know why I'm tired today, but I am. I guess this is as close as we have to a yawn emote. Not really. It doesn't really work, though. In doc stream. That's a fantastic idea. Hi, Sapphire. Tea. I don't, drink a lot of caffeine. So, I don't have a lot of tea. But, every once in a while, like, I use caffeine as a drug. That's really what it boils down to. I use caffeine as a drug. If I need something, then I will have it. I will have some caffeine. I don't use it often, but it works more strong on me because I don't have it very often. If you have 3 cups of coffee a day, then you're going to be full of, caffeine, and yeah. But if you just have it once in a while, it's more effective. And I'm very curious to hear Sapphire's idea. So I do have tea, but I don't have tea very often, and when I do, it's usually herbal, though I do love my, both Earl Grey and chai masala. Those are my 2 favorites. Yo, welcome Zeta Mind. Could I possibly train you to defeat the Scottish play? Wait, hold on. You're a software guy which turns caffeine into code. Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense. And yeah, if I'm deep in editing, if I'm doing it in my own editing, or if I'm, need to get a project done, or if I'm working on like 16 different things at a time, yeah, I will absolutely grab, either a cup of tea. I never got a taste for coffee. I just never got a taste for coffee. It's not the bitterness, because I actually do enjoy bitter in my liquors. But I never got a taste for coffee. Probably would like it, but ever since I was a kid, I never really enjoyed it. Also, Sapphire, you need to clarify what you mean by that. Gotta represent Irish breakfast tea? I've had that. It's very tasty. But yeah, every once in a while before a stream, I will have a couple sips of Diet Mountain Dew. Just enough. Just a little bit. The scariest thing you found in gaming? British werewolves. The Warcraft universe. Oh, yes, right. The Warcraft werewolves were coded as British, which actually I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was actually a nice addition, because they didn't really have a... I don't know, I could talk about Warcraft from a world-building perspective, because I have opinions about it. Oh boy, do I have opinions about it. Warcraft is simultaneously beautiful and terrible, and its world-building. A lot of the latter, but some of the former, too. Their town and set was pretty neat. I actually did play that intro. I didn't really get big into WoW, but... You would hear set opinions? Okay, well, you know what? I am going to go grab... Pretty sure anyone in their grandma can talk about Warcraft a lot. Yes, but I like most things, Phantos, like most things, I have a fairly unique perspective on these things. Because I didn't play World of Warcraft much. I have, like, maybe 12 to 20 hours of World of Warcraft time total. That's not a lot. So... For my Warcraft background, it's Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, and Hearthstone. I've played a lot of each of those. All right, hold on one tick here. I also feel it would be a bit weird having a Let's Chatting stream because I'm so active in Discord. I am active in Discord basically all the time. So it's strange to me to be like, oh yeah, I'm just chatting with people, when I'm just chatting with people in the Discord constantly. If you're not in the Discord, that's fine. I mean, it's not for everybody. Not everybody uses Discord, but our Discord is very active and very spectacular. Wonderful group of people. Like, very calm, very chill, very active, very interesting people. A mix of furries and game designers. A wonderful mix. And a lot of overlap between the two. Who'd have thought? I would have thought. Anyways. Sorry. The Scotsman said he couldn't be defeated by a man of woman born. Well, you're a man but also a woman, therefore with your powers combined we could defeat Macbeth. True. That makes sense to me. Yeah, we also do video nights as well. Actually, I have a new couple of videos I wanted to show. Maybe we'll do a thing tonight. I also heard Guineas, the starting area for the British werewolves in Warcraft, is making a return. Oh, cool. So, my thoughts on Warcraft are... Warcraft 1. Very basic game. Very basic, simple game that really doesn't have that much going on, and the storyline isn't that good. If we're being brutally honest, the storyline of Warcraft 1 is so bare bones that it is just generic low fantasy. It's not... It doesn't lay the groundwork the way people think it does. And I actually got Warcraft 1. The storyline has been messed up by alien invasion stuff? Are you being serious right now? Are you being actual for seriously? I don't know if I buy that. That sounds ridiculous. So, I got Warcraft 1. I got Warcraft 1 in a grocery store. This is true. I got Warcraft 1, Orcs and Humans, in a grocery store. At the checkout line, on a rack that had Archie comics. I remember this vividly because I actually read Archie comics. Shut up. Yeah. And it did not say anywhere on the packaging for this, like, $5 or $10 disc. I think it was $9.99, probably. It did not say anywhere on this packaging that it was a demo. It did not say anywhere on the packaging that it was a demo. I thought I was lucky enough to come by the full game. And it was still $10, so it's not like I wasn't, not paying money for it. But no, some absolute maniac packaged Warcraft 1, Orcs and Humans, and sold it in a grocer for $10 as just the demo. What? Oh, I was livid. I actually refused to buy Warcraft 1, Orcs and Humans, because of that. Like, I just refused to actually spend money on it because I already had. I actually used to pirate a lot of media. I don't anymore because A, I'm in a position where I don't need to, and B, I don't want to deprive the developers of the money, right? I used to pirate a lot when I was younger, but now that I've frankly grown up, I would rather spend the money so that the people who make the game get the money, and the people who publish the game see what is popular. Voting with your dollar sort of thing. So I got Warcraft 1, Orcs and Humans. Kind of. And I played through that demo. It was back in the day where I didn't have that many games on the computer, and I was running shy on Super Nintendo games. So I played through the demo several times, multiple times. This is not amazing. It really isn't. It's not that good of a game. But Warcraft 2, now that game I played the snot out of. That was my game. That was my jam. I loved it. I played a ton of it. Warcraft 2 was really a massive innovation in the RTS genre in general. I think that's severely... I don't want to say it's underestimated because everybody knows how amazing the game is retrospectively, but I don't actually think people give it enough credit for how it melded the RTS genre. it took the genre of like just a couple of games, Command and Conquer and Warcraft 1, and a couple of other smaller titles, and said, hey, but what if we make a grand battlefield out of this that doesn't play with all the painful limitations of the grand battlefield games? Because if you've ever played an actual like Napoleonic grand battlefield game, those are wretched. They're not fun. Any amount of fun, hope, or joy that you might have will go clear out the window. Just all of it. It's true. Yo, at point, tell them that. sorry. Go ahead and leave a comment about how much you love Napoleonic games and how wrong I am. Okay, just do that. Okay, yeah. Anyways, I have not played Dune 2, Ripley. So, Warcraft 2: Orcs and Humans, fantastic game. Highly recommend if you want to go back and play a retro game. It probably does not hold up today for several reasons, but it's an important part of history. So I played the snot out of that game. I loved it. I have played some of the Dawn of War games. I think it was the one that I didn't like, or the one that people didn't like. The one that I liked that other people didn't like. I played one of the Dawn of War games and I enjoyed it. I forget which one it is. It was either 2 or 3, but it was the one that most people don't like. And I actually enjoyed it. It was one where you control 4 soldiers as opposed to an entire army. Why is it called Dawn of War when it's been going on for 10,000 years? That's a really good question, actually. Ripley, do I need to play it on the channel? If I play Dune 2 on the channel, I don't know. Think that would be a good fit for the channel? I actually do not know. Maybe. Maybe I will think about it. I will think about it just for you, Ripley. Anyways. Warcraft 3 is one of my favorite games because it takes everything that Warcraft 2 does and elevates it. It adds a storyline that actually feels meaningful. It really does. Wait, Dune 2 was the first RTS? That's interesting. I suppose that's right. Okay, fair enough. Well, I was thinking of something like Red Crystal or something really ancient as the first RTS, but I guess Dune 2 would technically be considered that. That makes sense to me. In 92, really? I would have thought there was something in the late 80s that would have qualified as an RTS. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it feels. I guess everything else before then was turn-based, either technically or not. Huh. Sorry, that just sent me for a loop. Yeah, that checks out. I agree with you. And yeah, Warcraft 3 spawned several whole genres, actually. Do you know what genre that I love that Warcraft 3 spawned? Do you know what genre that I love and have spent a ton of my time and life in that was spawned from Warcraft 3? That's right. Tower defense games. Tower defense games were functionally started in Warcraft 2 map add-ons, and then improved and expanded in Warcraft 3. And I love tower defense games. And yes, of course the correct answer is Dota. I've played a ton of Dota and I love it. That's the one that everyone thinks about. But a peasant, a invulnerable flying peasant that can build towers with a speed boost that with each tower racking up money for the next one that you can build, was started in Warcraft 2 and 3. And that was the origins of tower defense games. And I still play Bloons Tower Defense regularly. And when I say regularly, I mean pretty often. I used to literally play Bloons Tower Defense every night before I went to sleep. I still do sometimes. Not like every single night, but yeah, that is a relaxing game for me that, well, fills my heart with joy. Almost as much joy as when people like my videos. Not quite, though. That's a different type. That's a very very different type of joy that's, you know how it goes. You understand. Custom maps were amazing. The stuff people came up with. I miss Custom Hero Line Wars. Ooh. Or the StarCraft one that was... Okay. First of all, I'm going to call you, Zethnarlith, out a little bit, because Mafia game. It was a Mafia game. Yeah, the StarCraft one that was Among Us long before Among Us was a Mafia game. Mafia games predate Among Us by, like, 4 decades. Like, pretty sure there were Mafia games in the early 80s. When did Mafia as a game first come out? I actually don't know. Mafia game... also known as Werewolf. Where's the history behind this? Yep. 1987 was when it started out, and 97 is when the rules were published and with Werewolf. So yeah. You've played a party game called Mafia, which is the same as Werewolf. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Then the StarCraft game that was more like Mafia than Among Us, to be fair. But yeah. But yeah, Mafia games are interesting. I like them, and you don't know fear until you've played a Mafia-style game in a room full of actors at an acting college. Like, well, at a college that specializes in acting. Okay, at a you know what I mean. It's fun, and it's great practice. It really genuinely is great acting practice. There's a lot of good acting practice things that I really want to do more of. Like, I want to grab a couple of VTubers and just play, like, questions games. I want to play, improv games. But I don't necessarily want to do, like, a whole Whose Line Is It Anyway stream VTube thing, but I probably should, because that would be fun. And people would love it. I don't know. I might be getting ideas. I might be getting ideas, chat. You once made a Final Fantasy VII multiplayer city defender in Warcraft 3. That sounds incredible. I know that Final Fantasy RPG with class systems was one of my favorite Warcraft 2 and 3 map mods, where you just create a grand giant RPG quest with and you could level up in various classes that basically were all based off of Final Fantasy Tactics and 5. Shinra vs. Tribes? Ooh, that sounds neat. Do you still have access to that? Yo, real talk, do you still have access to that? Because... I don't know, do I want to play a Blizzard game again? I guess that's one of my sticking points, is that I haven't played a Blizzard game ever since the company decided it wouldn't... Well, you know how it went. You know how Blizzard did. You know everything that happened with Blizzard. Actually, my... abandonment of Blizzard predates that drastically. But I don't know. Maybe now that they're under new ownership, right? Because they got bought out a month or so ago. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to get back into something on Blizzard's front. Because I missed a bunch of their games. Overwatch 2, isn't that PvE? I think so. I think that one was PvE. But yeah, I stopped playing Blizzard games when okay, I don't want to get too deep into the politics of it, but there was a player for a Hearthstone tournament that made a arguably political statement. I would actually say that it's not that political of a statement. They were, reinforcing a country's decision to be a country, and despite another country telling them that they were not a country. Well, go to that country and ask them if they are a country. You know, though, it's Blitzchung. You all know it's Blitzchung if you've heard the story. Anyways, they banned Blitzchung. That's actually not that surprising, because to be blunt, even though I am inclined to agree with his statement, that was explicitly against the rules. That was explicitly, deliberately against the rules for him to make up that sort of political statement on stage, on screen, on live video feed. Even though I agree with the statement, I will stand by Blizzard's decision to punish him for what he did. But Blizzard didn't stop there. They kept going and also punished the casters who happened to be casting that. They also punished basically everybody at the venue and declared they were never going to that venue again. They effectively punished the ancestral line of everybody who was involved in that situation. And why Sapphire asks why. The answer is because China. Because Blizzard knows how much money it makes in China, and they know how much they need to publicly agree with the Chinese government's stance on things. And that's where I drew the line. It's like, regardless of my opinions on the politics of it, regardless of my thoughts on what's going on over there, Blizzard punished everybody within a 50-meter radius of the event. And that is where it was like, okay, you punish the casters who are just, committing their voice acting talent, committing their casting talent to you, who are not involved in this. You effectively punished the venue, who had nothing to do with this because most of the players were remote. You punish the player, sure, I get it, but that was, they leveled up the punishment that had splash damage. And that's where I said, okay, I'm not going to play any more Blizzard games. I'm done. I'm done with them as a company. I'm done with them as a studio. And I was playing a lot of Hearthstone and Overwatch at the time, and I just set them both down and didn't pick them back up. I never have. I genuinely put them both... I still watch Hearthstone videos. I still watch Savitz and Kibler almost every day because they're some of my favorite streamers. But boy howdy, I just have not played a Blizzard game since, and now that Blizzard was bought out, now that much of the management in charge... I also have had some friends at Blizzard at the time who gave me some insider information. I don't think I've said anything that wasn't public, though. But... I also knew a little bit about the Bobby Kotick thing before it happened. Like before it was big news, before it was publicized. I kind of knew that was going to happen. So, so when that all came out, it's like I had already boycotted the company because of both that Hearthstone event and the other stuff that I knew about their internals. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm out. Peace. Later. Maybe I'll buy a game of yours someday, but that day ain't gonna be for a hot minute. So yeah, now maybe I will play it now that Microsoft purchased it and a bunch of the upper management has been flushed, frankly, and good riddance to them. I wouldn't be as opposed as I once was to playing a new Blizzard game. Anyways, that's that story. But yeah, and I might break it out to play Ripley's mod, because I think that sounds cool as heck. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Elaine Marcos finding your sewing machine? What you making? I'm curious, are you doing cosplay stuff, or just, like, making clothing? I love cosplay. I genuinely do love costuming. It's just, in general, costuming is so much fun. I'm actually a surprisingly good hand at sewing. I have made several of my own costumes. Not all of them. Every once in a while, I run out of time and sack a costume, or I pick up some stuff at a store, either to use as a base to work on and build out into a costume, or once in a while I have actually just commissioned a costume. But the majority of my cosplay I've made myself. Oh, you're gonna make a dress? Nice. Okay. Elaine Marcos. Is it going to have pockets? Huh? Safi prefers hand sewing to a sewing machine? I don't. I mean, I respect hand sewing, and I've done it several times because you can't machine sew leather. You just can't. So, I've made some of my own Renfair gear. And you just can't machine leather. Not if it's good quality. Not if it's good enough quality leather to be what I was going to use for my costuming. So I prefer machine stitching when possible because I'm not as consistent in my not in my measurements. I'm very consistent in my measurements. I'm not as consistent in my strokes. You won't have pockets. Aw, tragic. Well, it's not too late to fix that. I'm not precise enough It's gonna have lots of layers. Oh, it's gonna be that kind of. Oh, cool, nice. I am not consistent enough in the distance between each needle stroke to trust myself in hand stitching. I will use a sewing machine if given half an opportunity anytime. That's just me, though. Gosh, what is it? I've cosplayed from Utawaru Mono, the protagonist of that. I've cosplayed Haru from Persona 5, even though I haven't actually played Persona 5. I love the character design. And I've cosplayed her twice, both in her casual outfit and in her Phantom Thief outfit. I've cosplayed as a Final Fantasy XI Red Mage. I've cosplayed from Secret of Mana once, which is fun. How much you spend on materials? $3 kilo. That's many. That's a lot. Although depending on, actually, I guess it's not that much depending on what materials were. If it's a whole bunch of like traditional materials, that makes sense. Is it Renaissance style, like with actual silks, or is it just a lot of stuff? You're doing like a ball gown? Sounds awesome. The last cosplay I was going to make was going to be from Monster Hunter, and I still kind of want to finish that. I was going to make the... what's it called? The Devil Joe armor. The Devil Joe armor of Monster Hunter was one of the things I was going to make. Cheers, Nerlith. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Rawr. Oh, you're gonna cosplay from Resident Evil 8. Okay, okay. Lady Demi something. Okay, yeah, I know who you mean. That's a pretty ornate costume. That is a really nice costume. Whoa! Sorry, I just got sidetracked. I literally got a comment on a 7-month-old video? Like, just now. Just now, I just got a ping that someone commented on one of my Minecraft videos. Remember when I did a Minecraft? What is that? Yeah, that was January. Wow. Cool. People are still watching that. Nice. And this is why I'm a YouTuber. This is why I'm a YouTuber. This is why I'm on YouTube. Because of this. Explicitly because of this. Somebody found me. Dude, that feels incredible. That feels great. Somebody found me, like, my video 7 months after I put it out into the world. 7 months after it's there. It's a wonderful feeling. It really is. What does it say? Mending is the rarest enchantment. I'm happy for you. Like, yo, I'm gonna thumbs up that. I'm gonna reply to that. I'm gonna reply to that comment right. Everyone, go to that video and reply to that comment with like, just tell this person how cool they are. I'm typing this out. I'm doing this right now. That person's gonna be so confused when like 6 or 7 people just all reply to their comment and thank them for watching the video. This is hilarious. It was fun to play Minecraft. It really was. I mean, I'm done with it. Like, I don't think I'm gonna go back to Minecraft, but I had fun playing it. But yeah, that is quite literally why I'm a YouTuber. Is because I want people to go back and watch my old stuff. I really, really do. It's just... Where's my playlists tab? Playlists. Like, I want people to go back and watch my Final Fantasy, well, especially my Final Fantasy VI playthrough. I'm just genuinely one of the ones I'm most proud of. But I won't be able to go back and watch my Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke. I won't be able to go back and watch my Minecraft VODs. I won't be able to forget that I ever played Bloodborne and don't click those videos. I want people to go back and watch Metroid Dread. Yeah, no, go watch Metroid Dread. Why is that list unlisted? Hold on. Why is that? Okay. Oh, that's fixed. I had that playlist set as unlisted for some reason. Well, I guess nobody was going back and watching that one, that's for sure. Do I make... Oh, does Elaine make outfits as a job? That's actually an interesting question. And the outfit material is what's expensive? That makes a lot of sense. I've never done embroidery. Metro games. Are you saying that I should play them? You're gonna guess that the next Metro game is going to be called Subway? Well, Metro games are based off of book series, right? That's based off of a book series? Oh, you hang them when you're finished? Oh, that's cool. Nice. It's good to have a hobby that you can just do. People are talking about what games I'm going to be playing next, and I actually do have some plans and organizations on that, though I am absolutely open to suggestions. Hold on a second, let me make a note of some things here. Oh, you're only 14? Cool. Honestly, that's a really tough dress to make for as a 14-year-old. Honestly, rock it out. If you're in the Discord, I'd love to see it when you're finished. And if you're not, that's fine. I'm just, that sounds awesome. The books are more political and philosophical than the games. I've been thinking about playing either Stalker or Metro, or playing another sniper game, right? Because I did really enjoy when I played Ghost Warrior on the channel. But Sapphire is actually more on the right track. You see, I've been having a lot of success with Super Nintendo RPGs. Final Fantasy VI did fantastic, and Chrono Trigger is doing well right now as well. And I adore these games. These are games that I genuinely love. So I actually plan on playing more Super Nintendo RPGs, both because they're doing well on the channel, and because I'm enjoying them, and because it's good content, and you guys are enjoying them, and they're good. There's like very little reason not to play it, you know what I'm saying? So Earthbound is definitely going to be coming up soon. One of the next ones, one of the very next ones I'm going to be playing, is actually going to be Illusion of Gaia, which is, I'm basically going to play it as soon as Buck gets back. That's really what it is. Because I know that he's hyped for that game, and I know that and I have a request for him while I play, There's going to be, not collab per se, but he's going to be helping me out when I play it. And I promised him that before he got put in between homes, where before he had to do a large interstate move. And yeah, I'm still holding to that. I'm still holding off on Illusion of Gaia until Buck's back. It might be silly, but I don't care. I'm allowed to be silly. It's my channel. It's your channel. You guys know this. It's not actually my channel. Why would I say something silly like that? But Illusion of Gaia is high on that list. Earthbound is high on that list. Now it's actually written on the list. Ah. You just say I'm filming. Okay, good luck, Ripley. Cheers. Rune Factory 5, even though it's not a Super Nintendo game, is sort of that energy, that sort of classical mood. Lost Odyssey, and Final Fantasy 9, which is, again, not Super Nintendo, but that classic RPG, which had a remake, which is apparently really good. Yeah. Cupcake was telling me about that, and I enjoy it. You would love to guide me through Earthbound? I probably shall, honestly. I would be delighted to have you with me on that journey, Sapphire. And then in my other game slot, I have a lot of options, right? My other game slot, right now we just started Outer Worlds, which I love. I'm loving that game. The writing is incredible. It's the second closest thing to a political game that I'll play on the channel. And if you don't know what the first one is, okay, I'll tell you. The most political game I'll play on the channel is going to be, and it will happen. It's inevitable. And the most political game I'll play on the channel is going to be Disco Elysium. Because I love that game, I've played it once through, and I want to play it again. It's just good. It's just good, folks. It's just a good game. It's just a game that's good. But that's going to be like a whole thing when I do it. So I'm honestly kind of waiting for the 2.0, which, if you guys are unaware, that's in the works. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but Jade 2.0 is currently in commission status. You will not learn a single other thing about it until it's done. Until I take a 2-week hiatus and then have a re-debut, and that will be huge. You don't even know how huge that's going to be. It has been a bit. Yeah. And there's been a lot of things getting in the way. There's been issues and troubles in between. There's been, I think I'm a pretty good commissioner, right? I give a lot of detailed information, and I don't think I'm that hard to work with. But I've had people who I have commissioned run into issues a couple times in the past because of XYZ, and yeah, someone is. But this one is going through, and it's slow, but it's happening. Get hype for that, for certain. Oh, so my other game slot, the Monday-Friday slot, which was dominated by Elden Ring for several months, and I don't regret a moment of that. That was phenomenal. I loved every moment of that game. And is right now the Outer Worlds, which I love Outer Worlds. That game is an absolute delight. I love the writing, I love the characterization. The gunplay is okay, so I think I might focus more on melee. But I'm having an absolute blast of it. And then following that, what do I do in that slot? Do we do something more like the Metro or Stalker or Ghost of Tsushima or Dishonored, that style of game? Because I like those games and I want to play them. But all those games could arguably be a little bit off-brand for me now that I've spent, now that I'm focusing more on RPGs and stuff. But not really, I guess? I don't know. I don't know. But then again, I also have RPG-ish games like The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3, I really do want to play on the channel. I've never played any of the Witcher games, but I've read every single Witcher novel. So, like, what I could like most things, as I've said several times, like many things, my experience with it is going to be different and unique enough that I think it will be interesting and engaging to watch. Because if I play Witcher 3 with my knowledge of the books, I can play Geralt the way he is in the book series. Right? Like, that's something that I don't know anything about the game, other than it doesn't really take place in the same timeline as the books. Or I could play something like Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, or I could play something like, I don't know, Styx Master of Shadows, which is actually a game I think is pretty cool, honestly. You're getting all the Xbox 360 games before they all become $60. Oh. I got Monster Hunter. I got an Xbox for Monster Hunter World because Monster Hunter World came out on the Xbox before it came out on PC. Probably like 8 months or something. So I actually bought Monster Hunter, and I bought one of my friend's Xboxes to go with it. Oh, actually, Tuzzy raises a very good point. Let me finish my Monster Hunter story here. So I have played 2 games on the Xbox. And one of them is Monster Hunter, and the other one was a copy of Final Fantasy 15 that my friend threw in because they didn't need it. Hello, Test Name, and welcome. So I've played Final Fantasy 15 and Monster Hunter on the Xbox, and I enjoyed them both, but that's literally all the mileage I got out of an Xbox. Because most Xbox things are on PC, so I just never really bought anything else for the console. I used it as a media player, like a Blu-ray player for a while. That's about the size of all I did with it, though. Morrowind. I actually do have a plan on playing Morrowind. I actually do have, in fact, a very specific plan on when I want to play Morrowind. And that is when Morrowind comes out for Skyrim. Because there's a studio, to the best of my knowledge, they are still working on it, that is making Morrowind in the Skyrim engine. Now, you might be saying, but Jade, don't you want to play the original? And the answer is, no, I don't. Have you played the original Morrowind? It's not great. It's actually kind of terrible. Like, the original Morrowind is not as good a game as people remember it as. The writing's fantastic. The world is fantastic. The world design is fantastic. It's a beaut. Like, the scripting is solid. But the mechanics are not good. The mechanics are actually really not good. Because, well, the engine is based off of more of a classic RPG feel than a modern RPG feel. There's literally a mischance. That's what I was saying they took out in Oblivion. There's literally a mischance that you can attack and miss on an enemy even if you are in melee range and hitting them. And that's frustrating. It's just, annoying more than anything else. It drags out combat to lengthy things, and if you mod it to take out the mischance, you basically need to rebalance the whole game because the whole game is organized around that tactic. Like, the missed percentage chance is calculated into every other calculation, and you can mess with a lot of the game's level curving. So why would I want to play Morrowind after Skyrim? I'll tell you why. Because Skyrim VR allows mods. Skyrim for VR. Yeah, Morrowind's combat sounds like a war of attrition. That's not far off from the truth. Morrowind's combat is a lot more of attrition-based. It plays like a classic PC RPG. It plays more like Might and Magic 7 than Oblivion. Now, I actually like the old Might and Magic games. I actually did enjoy them in their day. But I'm not going to go back and play them now, and I think that it would be a lot of frustration and, frankly, not entertaining stuff going on if I played it on stream. So I will wait for it to come out for Skyrim, and when it comes out for Skyrim, which is funny to think of Skyrim as an engine, like it's coming out for Skyrim, but this really is what happens. It really is the best description for it. When it comes out for Skyrim, Skyrim VR allows mods. And I will play Morrowind in VR. That's my goal. That's the plan. That's my hopes. That's my dreams. And that I'm here for. I'm 1,000,000% here for that. Because, frankly, that's the way I want to experience it again. I did play it back in the day, of course. But fitting because Arena and Daggerfall had the mischance and other classic PC RPG quirks. And it makes sense for the game. I agree with you. Yeah, you are right. And it makes sense for Morrowind when it came out, because it came out as that. It was not an action game. And you could make a very strong argument that the Elder Scrolls series went downhill after it became more actiony. Like, there's a very strong argument to be made that the level up mechanics and the RPG elements and the crafting and the spell crafting, as broken as it was, made Oblivion a more engaging RPG experience than Skyrim. Skyrim's a good game, but every iteration of another Elder Scrolls game, they drip more of the RPG out of it and turn it more into an adventure action game. The Skyrim has more in common with Zelda than it has in common with Might and Magic. And frankly, it has more in common with Zelda than Elden Ring does. Elden Ring has more of a classic RPG feel in a lot of ways than if you look at the level design and the way the world is pieced together than Skyrim does. And hot take, I think Skyrim is fine, but it's not that great. Skyrim is overrated. That doesn't mean it's bad. Remember. Overrated does not mean bad. It means that it's rated higher than it deserves. I don't think Skyrim is bad. I absolutely think Skyrim is overrated. You see what I'm saying? You understand the distinction between those 2 points? because it's an important one. I think that Skyrim is a good game that people have put up on way too high of a pedestal. And I miss the RPG elements that you had in Oblivion. All of the things that you can shove into Oblivion to make it... Not a hot take? Fair enough. Okay. It also has to have some high peaks. Like the Greybeard's place. That's a high peak. That's Okay, look, I apologize. Look, that's the quality of pun you're getting today. That's the level of puns that we're working with. So. I am hyped to play Morrowind, and I'm hyped to play it in Skyrim, because I want to play it in VR, because it's a very immersive game already. And I think that'll be a wonderful experience. And on that very note, the same thing is true of Oblivion. I want to replay Oblivion. I absolutely want to replay Oblivion, but someone is also making Oblivion for Skyrim, and I want to do the same thing. Both these projects have been going on for the sunny side of a decade, so it's, it'll be somewhere between a miracle and a stroke of luck. Skyrim VR works with regular Skyrim mods. It absolutely 100% does, and that is genuinely why Skyrim VR is the best VR game on the market. Skyrim VR is the best VR game on the market because it works with all mods, and that's a huge, huge thing. It really is. You put the rave in the graveyard. Had a graveyard rave? Grave rave. Graveyard rave. Nice. But on the Bethesda note, I think it's most stark if you look at Fallout. Look at Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4. Or honestly, I feel like you should be looking at in the order of 2, New Vegas, 3, 4, even though that's not the release order. That's sort of like the developmental order, right? Of the game losing its RPG systems. In Fallout 4, you barely have any RPG systems left. When you level up, you get perks, quote-unquote. Except they're not really perks like they were before. Now, they're just... they're less interesting. They're not as interesting and dynamic as they used to be. And the leveling up mechanics are so much more actiony, and you can't beat the game without firing a gun the way you could in the older Fallout games. It's very obvious to go play Fallout 2, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4 in that order, and just feel the RPG-ness get drained out of the system. And then you do the same thing, you realize the same thing is happening with Elder Scrolls, just on a wider timeline. It's just on a wider timeline. The same thing has happened. But on that note, somebody is making... there was a very major Fallout 4 mod that takes place in, I want to say, Brazil? Hold on, I forget what it was. New Vegas perks are varied and diverse, while 4 has a lot of extra 20%. Yeah, exactly. Eggs, 1000% exactly. Yeah, the perks, the entire point of perks was because leveling up wasn't interesting enough. True story about Fallout, and one that will mess with your brain mind. One that will genuinely mess with your brain mind is that Fallout 1 added perks in a crunch week. During crunch, one of the devs, was it? I forget who it was. Hold on, let me double check who it was. Oh, sorry. I know. I just want to get this correct. I don't want to say the wrong name. Dang it. Heck. Anyways, regardless. One of the devs on the original Fallout was working on the perk system after they decided that leveling up wasn't interesting enough. During playtesting, a week before launch, And remember, this was a 90s launch. This was a launch back when a launch meant that most people didn't have internet access. This meant that when somebody got your game off the shelf, that was probably the version of the game they were going to play, that they were going to own, that they were going to have. I'm still looking around for this. Oh well, whatever. I guess I'm not looking it up. If someone knows the story, let me know. So they decided, wait a minute, this isn't interesting enough. This isn't good enough. Leveling up doesn't feel good enough. We need to add something. And they crunched out the entire perk system during their crunch week. And put it to launch. And it was great. It was fantastic. People loved it, and leveling up now felt more interesting than just numbers go up. Which is why it hurts when something like Fallout 4 and Skyrim have perks that aren't interesting, because the entire point of a perk is to be an interesting and build-defining and gameplay-changing feature. So, here's the part that's going to mess with your brain mind. Feats in Dungeons and Dragons are based off of perks in Fallout. Feats in Dungeons and Dragons are based off of the perk system in the PC role-playing game Fallout. It's true. It's absolutely true. Like, this breaks my brain because, like, I was alive and in, well, I guess I wasn't properly in the industry, but I was alive and enjoying the industry at that time. It's like, but my brain still has trouble comprehending that and accepting it. But it's true, because Dungeons and Dragons feats, yeah, because D&D started in the 70s, but the feats were added in 3rd edition. 3.5, technically, I believe. And that came out in, like, 02? And Fallout came out in, like, 97? So, yeah, the timeline checks out. Feats in D&D were added after and based on the perk system in Fallout, which was added because leveling up wasn't interesting enough on its own, and they wanted to have something that A, to build towards, and B, that made leveling up very interesting, dynamic, and exciting. And then Dungeons & Dragons, shortly thereafter, had the same problem, where leveling up was just adding more numbers to stats, especially in 3.5, because there's a lot of numbers you get to add to stats in 3.5. I'll tell you that right off I'll tell you that one for free. And they decided to do the same thing. And it's like, wow, it's amazing. Some games based on D&D, and D&D added something based on video games. Yeah, tabletop games and computer games have always... Computer game is in this case I'm using it as a broad to include consoles as well. But video games and tabletop games have always had a lot of cross-pollination. They really have. Elaine's going to compete in a cross-dressing competition again this time? Nice! Rock it out. I believe in you. Where was I talking? Oh, yeah, right. So, I do kind of want to play Fallout 4... Is it Brazil? I want to say it's Brazil. Project Brazil, which exists. Yeah, Project Brazil, which is a full new game built in Fallout 4 engine. And as far as I know, that should work in VR. Oh, it releases as New California. Project Brazil is Fallout New California. I still remember the Brazil part of it from when it was announced. Nice. Okay. Is that right? Is that the thing I was thinking of? Maybe it's not. That's actually... I have no idea. Anyways, regardless. Yep, Fallout 4 mods work in Fallout 4 VR. Now, Fallout 4 is rough. Fallout 4 is a rough VR game, just being honest with you. I played all of Fallout 4 in VR, and I never played Fallout 4 before VR because I specifically wanted to wait for VR to come out. Because it was on the horizon. It was announced that they were going to have it out. And having played all of Fallout 4 in VR, It is not spectacular. There is no locational audio in conversations. If you talk to somebody, the audio goes mono, and you hear it in both ears equally. Not coming from their head, like they were talking to you. Oh no, the audio just comes out mono. Why? Because in-game, it points the camera directly at the characters, and they don't have to do any left-right balance on the audio. Do you have any idea how disconcerting that is in VR? Do you have any idea how awkward it feels in VR to talk to somebody, to casually glance around the area that you're standing in because you're a human being, presumably, and that's what you do? And you look around and the audio does not track where the person you're talking to? It's really weird. It doesn't feel great. The weapons are there, they exist, but a lot of them don't have good aim-down sights. Scopes are broken as heck. Scopes are just basically non-functional in VR. Like, seriously. And, like, it's buggy. And you have to mod it to fix it, and then you have to mod it more to make it better. And I had a healthy amount of mods in there. But this is not phenomenal. I know that for Skyrim, a lot of these issues have been fixed. A lot of these issues have been since fixed in the VR releases of the game. If not by the players, then by the... If not by the players, then by the modding community itself. Which is awesome. Having a shooter RPG would have been amazing, but if the shooting itself is broken, then what's the point? True. I don't know. It's a lot of the shooting is fine. It's specifically the aim down. If you want to hip fire, you're going to have a lot more fun. Certain guns just don't have a good scope option, right? And I've yet to see a game. Now, admittedly, I have not played Sniper Elite VR. That is on my Steam wishlist, and I want to play it. And I've heard that one does it well, but I've never played a game in VR with a scope system that works. I have a fairly decent hand. I'm decently, accurate with a crossbow. Never fired a gun, don't plan to. But in VR, when you're aiming down a scope at someone who's, 700 meters away, guess what? You move you move 1 millimeter and it translates to pointing at a completely different target, When you're on a mouse is a really good tool. A mouse is a fantastic pointer tool for detailed precision work. That's the point of a mouse. That's why you have a mouse. And you can get incredibly accurate aiming. And I don't know exactly how to fix this, but you need to have a zoom function in VR that rescales your accuracy somehow in a way that makes it so you can aim down sights in a very distant target and still feel good and still feel like you're both shooting at the target far away and giving you a lot of precision. Have you ever heard H3 VR? That's actually the opposite of what I want. So, what Tess Name is referring to is horses, handguns, and... No. Horses, hot dogs, and hand grenades, I think it is. It is the best shooting game in VR. It absolutely is, because of its realism. What I'm saying is that I want to throw realism out the window and have better gameplay. I want to have something that's more interesting and engaging in the gameplay of the moment. H3 VR is incredibly accurate. It's accurate to a fault. It's accurate to a fault in that you have to do all the mechanics correct, and if you aim, the aim is going to be correct, and you're going to have to, the recoil is going to be accurate. Like, it's incredibly accurate. I want the opposite of that. I want my player's skill, I want my character's skill to be based off of their stat line with me controlling it. I want the aim down sights at an enemy far away to not auto-aim, but hold my hand a little bit to make it a little bit easier to aim and do these superhuman feats that my character is is performing. I want my character. I want to feel like my character is doing amazing things. And that is the opposite of H3VR. No shade on H3VR. It's a fantastically well-made game, and if you are a gun nut, if you're a big fan of guns, you'll probably love it. It's a really well-made game. But I'm looking less realism and more gameplay. I'm just gonna call it gameplay and call it there. Yeah. It's everything you want. We can see how some I'm not even saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it doesn't fill the role that I'm looking for. I'm not even saying that I don't like it. But what I'm looking for, mechanics and fun gameplay is greater than realism every single time. If you ever are making a game, and we have a lot of game developers here, which is why I tend to approach things from a game dev angle. If you are ever making a game, making the game fun is more important than making the game realistic. Unless your target audience only cares about realism. And now we're getting back into talking about Napoleonic war games and things like that, where realism is crux to the entire mechanics. But you should sacrifice realism in favor of gameplay every single time. Unless you have a target demographic that explicitly cares about that. I remember one time someone told me, with a straight face, this was a kid fresh out. Yo! Test name coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So sorry. Awesome. So, some kid fresh out of game dev school, fresh out of their college, walks up to me and says, I've got a great idea for a game. Check it out. And his idea was going to be making a combat-focused medieval game. This was before For Honor came out, but it was that kind of idea. And they were like, I want to make it super realistic. I want to make it very, if you get hurt, then it's going to, play into certain attacks are going to be harder to do. And like this, it just listed off a whole bunch of stuff that was not fun. Just listed off like a dozen different ideas that would make the game more grounded in realism. It would be very realistic. It would, who wouldn't want to play that? I'm like, I wouldn't want to play it. Well, what would you rather play? A game made by another game designer, or a game made by somebody who actually knows the combat and who actually knows the mechanics of it? And my first thought was, my dude, I'm a stunt man. I've done stage combat at this time for the nothing but stage combat as my day job for 5 years. So my first thought was, my dude, I know more about what's actually going to be realistic than you anyways. I didn't even bring that up because that was immaterial, because the fact is that he's like, wouldn't you rather play a game that that's based in realism by somebody who knows a lot about how a game is, how the actual combat works? I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I genuinely would not, my dude. I genuinely hope that kid went on to do great things. I hope that he made his dream. I genuinely hope that he put out his game into the world, and I hope it was decently received by his target audience. Like, I wish them the best. I really do. But my goodness, it was like, I want to do this so it's so realistic and gritty, and it's like, no. Why would somebody play that over Dark Souls, over Monster Hunter, over, For Honor for that, which I don't think was out yet. No, this is before. When did For Honor come out? I gotta check this. That came out. Oh, that was 2017. Okay, so this was like initial release date 2016. Okay, so this was about 7 or so years before then. So yeah, this was long before For Honor. Hey, maybe he went on to make For Honor for all I know. Maybe he did. Maybe that kid ended up being the guy who made For Honor. I don't know. I didn't keep up with him. Yo, how sick would that be? No, not likely though. For Honor was an interesting game though. Honestly, I do give that game credit and props. Realism and authenticity sounds awesome, but it ends up being a crux in some cases. Yeah. Let loose sounds awesome, but I wouldn't have the patience for it. And, like, the goal as a game designer is to instill a sensation in the player, right? It's to instill an emotion in the player. That's what we do, right? That's kind of the core goal of game design, is to instill an emotional state in the player. And you can do that with realism, but you don't have to. You can do that without realism very effectively, and we have a lot of designs about how and why that works. And there's so many walls that you're going to hit when you try to go for realism, because you're not going to be able to get realism. At the end of the day, you are going to miss realism pretty much no matter what you do. The lack of physicality alone nukes a lot of these things. Is it realistic to have wounds heal instantly with a spray? No. But does it make for a better game? Yes. In most cases, yes. And in a great many cases, having it heal over time as opposed to instantly forces the player to think ahead and make decisions based on that. Yeah. Now, there are situations where you do want realism, and there are certainly players who want realism. And Sapphire, I don't know if I want to bring up that particular story, because you know what? Let's just set that story aside. I don't think that dev ever actually saw my call-out video. But I'm not 1,000% sure. Because I don't... I don't think anybody in that studio, except for me and Emilios, actually saw that video I made. And I'm okay with that, because we did a lot of harsh callouts. Anyways, it would be hilarious if they did. It would, but that guy in particular is the kind of guy who might be a bit scary if he thought I was calling him out in public like that. In another case, number of cases, authenticity is better than realism. Metal Gear Solid 3 has a stamina and regen system and a surgery mechanics that is no way realistic, but feels authentic to reality in a way, yes. What you're referring to is called verisimilitude, and that is 1,000% correct. Verisimilitude, or the creating the impression of a realistic and coherent design, is absolutely important to the borderline critical. That's very important. A game like Super Mario Bros. Does not have realism, but its mechanics work consistently. Its mechanics work consistently and in a way that you can expect, and it has an authenticity to itself that works inside of its own world. Verisimilitude. It means a likening as to reality. And yeah, there's a lot of definitions and a lot of good ways for you to use it and a lot of bad ways for you to use it. If you're using verisimilitude to say, I'm trying to create a simulation of reality, that's where you're going to hit these walls. But if you're using it in a way to make a consistent world, like the difference between, for example, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. How does magic work in Harry Potter? Somebody says something and something happens. What's the limitation on that? I don't know. What's the restrictions on what you can do? I don't know. What are the limiting traits that the characters need to deal with in order to advance the storyline? I don't know. Whatever the writer felt like throwing in at the time. It's completely arbitrary. And as a result, it ends up being less interesting because of the arbitrary nature of it. Can people cast without a wand in Harry Potter? No, according to the text, but yes, according to like the 5 times that people do it. But when somebody does it without a wand, it's not, people don't stand back and say, wow, that's impossible. That person must be the greatest mage of the entire world. Like, no, it's not even commented on. But you can't do it without a wand, according to like 3 other sources. It has no internal consistency. It doesn't have that internal authenticity to it. Whether or not the magic is realistic, it also doesn't follow a pattern or an authenticity. Compare that to Lord of the Rings. How does magic work in Lord of the Rings? You can write a paper on it, and it is incredibly precise, and the viewer, the reader of the main books series, doesn't need to know a single ounce of it. but it's all there. It is all there. And the fact that it's there is extraordinarily significant to the writing. Because the fact that it's there means that the author can reference it repeatedly. The author can reference it in a way that's meaningful and that the reader can understand, that they can grasp, that they know what it means to have a sword that glows blue. And this goes back to iceberg design. I mean, I have a video on iceberg design that I did a few months ago that is goes into this detail a lot, but it's this idea of a consistent internal world and a consistent internal design that can go a long way in making, well, frankly, in making your game better, or your world better. And if I suppose I'm not talking to a game dev audience right now, I'm just talking to people, because you guys are cool and I like you guys. Also, you guys are cool and I like you guys. Ha, take that, get wrecked. But yeah, I think about that one guy who was like, wouldn't you rather play a game made by somebody who actually knows how combat works? And that guy saying that to me with all of the confidence of a new grad. With all of the confidence in the world as somebody who just finished their bachelor's. Like, my dude, I have worked in game development longer than you, and I've worked in actual combat longer. Because, okay, when I learned how to my stage combat stuff, I'll tell you guys a secret. My teacher for stage combat had a philosophy. My teacher for stage combat had a philosophy. And that was, hey, I'm going to teach you guys how to actually fight. I'm going to teach you guys legitimately how to fence, how to use a broadsword, how to use a rapier and main gauche. I'm going to teach you guys legit how to fight with a quarterstaff. And then I'm going to teach you how to adapt it for stage. That's how I was trained. And the rationale was that he had seen too many of his colleagues, of his master combatants and fight choreographers write choreography that felt like choreography. You see what I'm saying? They were familiar with making stage combat that looked like stage combat, not stage combat that looks like actual combat. So, and he was like, okay, here's what we do. You want to fight like you actually want to hurt them. You're not going to do that. You're going to keep your blade at least 3 feet away from them at all times. You're going to be making your footsteps count. You're going to be doing all of these things, you know, in these safety things. But first, I'm going to teach you how to actually kill somebody with this weapon, so that when it comes time to actually act the role, you know how to look like that's what you're trying to do. And again, I've said this before, you know, what... okay, no, anyways. The guy who ended up officiating my stage combat exam was one of the fight choreographers for Princess Bride. Like, he knew what he was doing. And that's why I look at movies like Troy or Star Wars, the new Star Wars movies, and the combat is so flashy but so unrealistic. And my favorite fight scene, other than Princess Bride, that kind of gets a free win, obviously, my favorite fight scene in a movie comes from The Count of Monte Cristo. The movie's not great. It's a terrible adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo. It's not a good movie. I hate to say that because I love The Count of Monte Cristo. I've read the original book cover to cover. That was a feat because Dumas is not easy to read. But the 2002 film Le Count of Monte Cristo has the final fight scene genuinely is one of the best stage combat fight scenes that I have seen. Because both characters look terrified. Both characters are simultaneously lunging out to try to hurt somebody and pulling back because they're afraid of being hurt. Both characters are playing the role of somebody who knows that they need to kill the other person to preserve their marriage, their way of life, their honor. They know that they have to kill somebody with this sword, and they are both terrified of both themselves in doing it and of their opponent in doing it to them. That scene is beautiful. I recommend watching that just for that scene. But it feels real in a way that a lot of fight choreography simply does not. Anyways, that's a side tangent. Gotta watch a MGR meme? Oh, Metal Gear. Yeah. You're saying about that. You're a black belt in karate and you love unrealistic combat. Yakuza and Metal Gear Rising Redemption are a blast, yet everything in those games' combat is unrealistic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. But so. Yeah. And knowing how to do the realistic combat makes you able to better do the unrealistic combat too. Like, I can do a flashy Star Wars style scene. I can. But knowing how the real combat works gives you a better foundational knowledge. And as far as training goes, I have 4 years of college where I got my certification for a stage combatant certification. It was a Society of American Fight Directors SAFD certification, and I worked in stage combat for a while. And at present moment, although I haven't been to training since the plague, I am a 3rd degree black belt in Bujinkan Taijutsu. Which is part of why I want to play hecking Ghost of Tsushima, because I want to actually talk about the martial arts in that game, because I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, doing unrealistic combat is best when you know how realistic combat works. You can do anything in Metal Gear Rising in real life, but only once. Nice. I like that. It's like that quote, all mushrooms are edible, some mushrooms are only edible once. You only have 1st degree black belt? That's fine. It's still a good accomplishment. It's still a very good accomplishment. Also, Bujinkan is a lot different than karate. I love Bujinkan. It really is a fantastic martial art. It's much more realistic, I guess. The stuff that you do in Bujinkan is not, I'm going to practice these punches. It's here's stuff that will work on somebody who is twice your size, and like this is work on somebody who is stronger and faster than you. These are techniques that will work against somebody who is both stronger than you and faster than you, not like MMA, which is designed to work against somebody who is your equals in weight class and strength. Not like karate, which is designed more, almost, a lot of modern karate is more of a meditation and the way that it's formatted and structured and going through kata and stuff like that. And Bujinkan is much more, hey, this is something that will function in a real combat situation against somebody who is armed and unprepared and has not been watching you fight for 6 weeks, right? It works again, with somebody who is. It works in a bar fight situation. I guess is a good way of saying it. If you're in a bar fight, karate is not going to help you. It just isn't. Judo might, not a little. Aikido-ish. MMA, yeah, honestly, if you're equal match to the other guy, MMA will work in a bar fight situation if you're equally matched. Bujinkan will work if you get mugged on the street by somebody who's bigger than you. That's the value in it, is that it's more in that sort of realistic situation. Jay is a very skilled bull. I have lived a good life, and in my life I have done cool things. That's it. I've lived a life. I have done the best I can to live a life that I am proud of, that involves doing things that make me happy. And I'm really proud of myself for that. Like, I'm not even gonna, demur about this one. I genuinely am happy with what I've done. And now I'm streaming, and now I've hit 1,500, and, Karate can work in combat if you ignore a lot of the rules, but it does focus a lot more on kata. I wish I could go back to your old dojo and do it again, but won't it fair? Honestly, yes and no. I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but a lot of the karate stuff might not work on somebody who's bigger than you. Right? It's the same with a lot of sparring arts. There's not a lot of sparring in Bujinkan because what you learn can and will hurt somebody. Like, yeah, if you actually go full force and with Bujinkan techniques, you will break arms. But like, there's no way for if on that. You can do things softer, but it's still, it's a very serious thing. I love it. But yeah, fun fact, I am a classical hedonist. Not the modern definition of hedonism where people think of, the Roman emperor eating peeled grapes and over drinking and having, doing drugs. No. I am a classical hedonist. I believe in that one of the most important things in your life is to live a life that you are proud of and that fills you with as much joy as possible. And guess what? Being a VTuber and bringing joy to other people, being here with you guys, brings me a lot of joy. If you fight a big guy, you can't lose. Lose the fight, you got hurt. Win the fight, you're a giant killer. Unless you die. Yeah, I was about to say that until I finished reading your statement. Yeah, unless you die or get maimed. I mean, these are things. And Fontos, it's not too late. The best thing I can say is that it's not too late. I mean, yeah. Only skin on grapes. And all there were other ways, Roman Emperor. Honestly, I respect that. That's fair. Reasonable. But yeah, if it's not too late to be working on living a life that you're proud of. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that it's worth it. I mean, heck, I am literally working on getting a demo reel done for voice acting. At my age, I'm going to start going into voice acting because I have a shoulder issue that makes it difficult to do any more actual stunt work. Hedonism is the philosophy that the thing that makes you the happiest is what you should do. That is what it boils down to. Hedonism is the idea that the thing that makes you happiest is in effect the most moral thing that you can do. It's living a life not just for yourself, because making other people happy makes me happy, contributing to and standing up for other people's rights makes me happy, makes me proud of myself. Like, hedonism is about living a life that you feel proud of to live in your own body with, and to live a life that is full of as much enjoyment as you can. Not living for others, not living for aestheticism, not living for some higher power inherently, though in some cases that may be coincident, that may work alongside it. And yeah, that's what classical hedonism is. Nowadays, when people say hedonism, they usually are thinking of getting drunk and doing drugs. That's a modern interpretation for people who believe in what's going to bring them the most happiness in the moment. I'm not going to do that because I know that if I did a hard drug, it would create a lot of long-term sadness. I would not be happy with that. But that's what a lot of people think of. They think of hedonism nowadays as something that's in the moment. Like, in the moment, what will you do that brings you the most immediate pleasure? It's like, no. Hedonism is more about long-term pleasure than it is about short-term pleasure. And life is never easy. True. It's true. Life is not easy. But you do what you can with it. And you want to be proud of whatever you can do with it, right? You want to live the best life you can while being as proud as you can of who you are and what you've done. And I can proudly say that I am. Now, I used to not be. I mean, honestly, when I was younger, I was not a good person. Not nearly as I am now. Now I think I'm a decent person, but I used to kind of suck. But I've gotten better. I think so, at least. I mean, I'm here with you guys. Gotta be doing something right. I've made an incredible community. Like, genuinely, holy cow, my community is awesome. You guys are amazing. The truth is out. Jade was a bad boy. I was rude. Yes, it's true. I was absolutely rude and evil. Totes, yeah. Rakatatata. I'm just fiddling with. Well, I guess it's a knife. It's more of a divot tool than a knife, but it is a Victorinox. It's a golfing Victorinox that was my grandfather's, and I keep it on my desk because it's just a really convenient tool to have. But it's a Victorinox that has a little marker that you can put down in place of your golf ball, and a divot repair tool, which is just really fun to play with. Sapphire say, my happiness? It's being part of a community that I've watched grow and I've helped. It's being able to stream even if it's limited. It's having friends on a global scale and feeling loved every single day. I wouldn't trade this for anything. Aww. Thank you so much, Sapphire. You are wonderful. And I appreciate you. I really do appreciate all that you've done for the community. You're a wonderful person and it shows. And that's why sometimes it hurts when you downplay your successes. That's why sometimes when you say, "Oh, I haven't done that much," it's like, no, you really, really have. Have I played RimWorld? No, I have not. I've heard of it. I'm vaguely familiar with it, but I have not played it myself. So, I've been going for 90 minutes, which is cool. I don't really have any specific direction that I was planning on taking things. I did want to mention, I am, like I said, the 2.0 is in process. It's got a long way away, but it's in work process at this point. Which is going to be massive. You guys don't even know. This is not just going to be a model reveal, my friends. This is going to be I'm not saying anything else. Nope, nope, you don't get more than that. Nope, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be an absolute thing. But in addition to all that jazz noise, I also have a couple more edited videos on the horizon. We're gonna be more scales. The scale is huge. The scale is gonna be enormous. I choose to answer it like that. Is it gonna be Jade? Is it gonna be a kobold? Yes, Phantos. That is exactly correct. But I've also sent forward a couple of older videos to turn into edited compilation things. A supercut, if you will, where I'm actually making an edited version of some of the older content, and I sent off some frankly terrible footage to do that, and it should be coming. I don't know when it's going to work. I don't know when it'll be done. I don't have a specific deadline set for that because scheduling, but I sent an absolute hot mess over, and we'll see how it goes. The hardest part about being a VTuber and content creator is saying nothing about exciting things. True! That's just a true fact. It's... It is hard, because I am excited, and I want to share my excitement, but I also know it'll be better if it's a surprise. It's good. No, you know full well the audio is absolutely porked for, like, 40% of the stream I sent you. The audio is arguably worse than the Borderlands audio. Ah. So, so look forward to that. That's going to be like an entire thing. Wow. It's going to be like a whole entire thing. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I also have that other video I was going to work on. Heck. I put out the ASMR video. People have been asking me about the ASMR stream for months, and that's actually out now. I ended up making it more of a, more of a guided meditation than just an ASMR thing, and I think it turned out very well. Honestly, I'm proud of it. If you like ASMR, or if you are indifferent to ASMR, as long as you don't actively hate ASMR, I think people will get a lot out of it, because it's a guided relaxing meditation. A guided bolstering meditation, really. And I think that people will get more value out of that than they realize, even if you don't regularly listen to ASMR. I might do more of that in the future. It didn't do poorly, right? I mean, it didn't do amazing, but did decent. I'll see how more people respond to it. You don't know what to think about ASMR? Well, give it a shot. It's only 8 minutes long. I would encourage you to give it a shot and tell me what you think. No, Hensha. No, I'm sure that you will make it shine. How's that for an answer? Okay. I'm sure that you will make it shine. When you hear guided meditation, you think of that Hotline Miami 2 song? You know, I never actually played that. Like, I'm familiar with the game, and I'm familiar with the art style, and I'm familiar with the cultural impact of it. But I haven't actually properly played Hotline Miami myself. Maybe I should at some point. You've spoken vividly on your thoughts about ASMR. True. No, we know. And we respect. We respect the Sapphire. Though I still just a little wee bit, I kind of want you to listen to mine just to see if it is different. Just to see if it works for you. Not that I'm thinking it necessarily is, somehow magically different, but part of me is like, but what if? But what if? Ayo. Let's see here. Yeah, feel free to toss down any questions or thoughts or anything. Should I swap to the other audio tracks? What do you guys think? Wait, I've been on Comfy Cave this whole time. There we go. Let me swatch over to the this loop. Hotline Miami 1 is absolutely a must-play. Change your entire perspective of indie games and of video games as a whole. Very nice. Okay. This song is one of the few audio compositions that I've made for the channel that I adore. Not that I made, I commissioned. I didn't make this. This was made by Anthony Baden-Sadgers, who is a very good musician who's done some bigger projects as well. But you know what? I can show you guys some of the other audio that I've had made, or that I have licensed, and some of the stuff I have licensing to. I have this transition wave. I actually really do like that one. I actually like the sound of that. I just don't have much use for it. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't... It's just not the kind of piece that I really can slot into other things. Wait. Here's the fixed one. I do like that. That is actually a full 30-second fanfare that I have for the channel. I don't use it because I don't have much use for it, right? Usually when I'm loading up a... Where is it? Is it somewhere? Oh, it's down here, isn't it? Yeah. Usually when I'm loading up a channel thing, I just use this. Which I also own the rights to. I mean, obviously I made the background from assets, and I made all that in Unity. But that fanfare in that little event is just kind of the casual level that I am more likely to use, right? And while I do have this fanfare here, I just end up keeping the tone of the more mellow version of it, right? The finished loop that I played earlier is phenomenal. I adore this. He also made a... Wait, where's the... Wait, is this? No, hold on. That's a nice little mellow intro piece as well that I enjoy. Maybe I can play Azerbaijan's anthem. Well, the thing is that I own, outside of the game music, outside of the games. Oh, I should have used it for the game. Go Game Jam results. You're right. Oh my goodness, that would have been perfect. Oh, Phantos, you're 1,000,000% correct on that. Oh, I missed that opportunity. Heck. You're 1,000% right, and you should say it. But all the music I use is stuff that I own the digital media rights to. And not all of it I actually commonly use. Like, I think I've used this once. I mean, I like it. It's comfy. It's full of vibes. I genuinely do love it, but like... Wait for it. Wait for it. I don't know. This is just... I love this. I adore this. It's just super cozy. What else do I have here? But I don't use music unless I have the digital media rights for it. Branding, I'd rather use something that I have the branding for, right? I would rather use something that is going to be more unique to my channel, which is why a lot of the music is questionable vibes. I think I like the vibes on it. That's why a lot of what I use is Karugamo, this here, all this entire all this jazz here I use once in a while. It's fun. I love it. I used what I used for my ASMR. I used this. This was very comfy. This was very cozy. I thought it would work well for the ASMR theme. This is the music when you shout, "There he is!" So I use this. I have this entire Dark... I actually own almost the entire discography of Dark Fantasy Studio for licensing for use on YouTube. Why? I don't know. I just kind of felt like it. I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to get it. That's it. That's literally the entire story. I had the opportunity to get the licensing for this music, so I got it. There's nothing more than that. It's not an exclusive license. This music was not made specifically for the channel. But it's very nice, and I enjoy it. And I could use this whenever I want, which is actually valuable. I need to actually skim through all of these. It's seamless. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna let this one play for a second and see if it actually is a seamless loop. I thought all of these had beginnings and endings. That's why I don't use them very often, is because a lot of the music that I have licensed for this are not... yeah, a lot of the licensed music I have has a beginning and ending, which does not loop, and when I'm going to be playing music for an hour or 3, I need it to loop effectively. I'm going to let this play for another minute, and then I'm going to see if it loops well or not. Set up for looping? Maybe. I know the Katagama, all the Katagama stuff, either loops well or is set up to loop well. Which I appreciate, you know. I don't love this piece. I mean, it's nice, but I just want to see if it does actually do a seamless loop. Oh, I'm playing it in VLC right now, so it's going to have a seam in the loop because VLC loops with seams. I just want to see if it's a clean loop, though. Four, 3, 2. Yeah, there's a seam there because of VLC, but that actually would loop. Nice. Okay, so I'm. This one too. Okay, I gotta actually look through this more. I just randomly clicked one and I found one that had that seamless note on it, and it's like, okay, if that actually is a seamless loop, then I can make use of this. Oh, I can work with this. Oh, I can work with this. Yo. What else do I have in here? Jotun has some good tracks in it. Yeah, a bunch of these actually are seamless. Or have seamless versions of them. Nice. Okay, I might actually do some musical overhauls with some of this new stuff, because it'll be a little bit less chiptune-y. Because, I mean, my normal background music in here is not chiptune-y, but I use a bit more of a chiptune style for the opening and closing. But I might switch over to something more... Not that. Biohazard. There it is. Clearly this is my new theme. This is my new style. Biohazard. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm doing wrong. It is cool, though. I do like it. You know, I'm gonna have to sift through this. I'm gonna sift through all of this. Not right now. Unless you guys actually are down for that. I mean... Wait a minute. I own the digital media rights to all these. I literally could do a full stream of just going through my music files and deciding which ones I want to set aside for use. That could be a whole stream. I don't think I'm going to do that tonight, but that could be interesting discussion. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that in the future. I think that's a thing that will happen. Now that I see that how many of these actually have seamless, and now that I recognize that seamless means looping, a lot of them are too creepy because I know this studio specializes in creepy, unnerving, Bloodborne-esque music, which is good. I love that music. It just doesn't really fit my, branding. Doesn't really fit the channel very well, but it doesn't mean there isn't going to be a lot of really good stuff in here. And sadly, the one that I like the most, the Aurora stuff, which is very massage parlor music. Going through the Kobold Sword. Oh boy. Oh, we could do that. Oh wow. We could absolutely go through all the assets that I own for on the Unity Asset Store. That would take a while though. I own a lot. I may have, you know what? I guess that is my hoard. I usually like saying my hoard is friends because I have so many friends. Oh no, I guess my hoard is game dev assets. Oh no. Oh no. Kobolds are classified closest to a Stone Age civilization. Depends on the lore. Kobolds, I mean, I've seen plenty of sci-fi kobolds as well. But yeah. Kobolds are Stone Age, but not in the sense of pre-Roman. Stone Age in the sense of, like, the Inca and the what's the... Dang, I should know this. The First Nations tribes with that united under Hiawatha. What is that tribe? Ojibwe. Iroquois. Oh yeah, that's right. It was... Duh. It was Iroquois. Of course it was. Yeah. Stone Age in the sense of, like, the Iroquois rather than the Stone Age in the sense of, like, prehistory, you know? That's a very important distinction, right? You went through the whole what is a kobold thing, and it's really confusing when you start with the German folklore. It is. I mean, it's not... Yeah, that's really... It's minor helpers. It's basically brownies for mines. It's miners... mining fae who help people. That's the foundation of it. Game dev assets are greater than friends. No, they're not greater. I just might have more of them. Mood, yep, mood. Early D&D didn't make it very clear how it ended up like today. True. Yeah, if I have one complaint about myself, I guess, it's that in retrospect, kobolds are seen more of as a D&D thing rather than just as a generic fantasy thing. Because I think of a kobold, I don't think of D&D specifically or explicitly. I think of more of an in general, just a character, like a little lizard, little lizardy creature, little small draconic-ish creature that yips and snuggles, right? Exactly. Like, I don't necessarily tie it in my brain mind into D&D, but I know a lot of people do, and I wish they didn't? I don't know. Who the heck knows what is generic fantasy and what is D&D? Think anyone knows who owns what? You know, it's been a trend over the past decade for companies to make things more unique so that they're more copyrightable, right? Like, you could see it in Games Workshop giving all the high elves specific names so that they were not just high elves, which is not a trademarkable name. They were the whatever they called them. I don't remember. The Asur, or what? Okay, I guess apparently, or whatever. I don't know. They've been constantly trying to rename things so that they can copyright it, as opposed to just using the traditional names.
Have you heard of the High Elves? A noble race of...
No. How do I want to go on that?
Have you heard of the High Elves, a noble race of creatures? Very kind and loving until they want to kill you. They might want to kill you. Every once in a while, the High Elves want to kill you, and once you get past it, they're very kind and loving. A noble race, I must say.
I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that. You're making an urban fantasy and just hope you don't include a species that can't fit in reality. Huh.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
I should have gone full Deckard Cain there. Nah, oh well. I do need to do more voice acting and recording so I can get better at it. Like, I have an entire document of... where is... I have an entire document of line reads, basically. I have an entire document here of line reads that I need to just work on. Just so different voices. Because I have my voice here that I use here, which is the normal voice that I stream with, but I also have...
I also have the deeper voices that are more... I don't know. This one I've labeled as a freet, but it's not necessarily an efreety.
You have the nasal sciencey voice. I'm currently using this voice for Luca in Chrono Trigger because she's a scientist, you see, and that's very smart. And some of the things the scientists have the really nerdy sounds that are coming out, and I think the nasal sound is going to work with that. I also have been really, really enjoying playing Valorant and opening up every single match of Valorant with...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Valorant.
Like, every single match I open up with that. And the reactions I get are phenomenal. The reactions I get are absolutely delightful. Because people go like, hey, I have a nice mic, right? I have a Shure SM7B. I have a really nice mic. So, first of all, you hop on Valorant and you hear somebody like, whoa, they actually have a nice mic. The heck? And then on top of that, you know, that's a voice that, how can I put this? It's a voice that some people
enjoy.
Water. It's a voice that
some people have a deep fondness for. Some people really enjoy this.
Look, I'm just saying this. Maybe don't like it. I don't know. It's some people have a positive reaction to that. The other day, I was having fun. My team was having fun. I was sticking to that voice because people were responding very well to it. It's particularly the one girl who was playing as Jet. And the Jet... Sapphire. And one of the players who was playing Jet was, she was particularly susceptible to it, shall we say. And it was very clear that she was greatly enjoying the commentary. And after one match, she did fantastic. After one particular round, after doing not doing very well for most of the rounds, she got 2 kills and won us the match. And I was like,
Jet, I just want to thank you for everything that you did. You're doing wonderful, and you're a very good girl.
And well, she with her mic on. I mean, that happened. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm a little sorry. I might have, Sapphire. I might have done that thing. A Final Fantasy POV. You start with a sword and you're expected to go up against people with automatic weaponry and mechs and tanks. Yeah, that's a cool aesthetic. I like that. You blush, so cute. So my model rig is set to Tess really likes. So my model rig is actually set to do that naturally. That's actually just a big smile. When I do a big smile, it naturally has little blushy lines, which I like. I do actually have an emote though for the full blush. I actually have the full blush emote because hi. I like it. It's cute. I like it. Oh, speaking of buttons that are on my stream deck, because that's definitely what we're talking about, I guess. I'm sure you've seen, if you've been watching the last, you saw the laugh trigger somehow. Yeah, the laugh trigger is the light blush, and then I have a button for the heavy blush. Yeah, that's exactly right. You guys probably saw last time that I have a zoom-in camera for my game scene now. It's exactly that. It's just a zoom-in camera, which I learned how to do on OBS, which is not hard. It's just something that I hadn't bothered to make. But now that I'm playing, now in Chrono Trigger, I've been making use of this for when I make my sidebars to camera, which I've really been enjoying. I think that it adds a lot because this, when I put down the game and to talk about the game, which happens fairly often. I'm a game designer. I talk about video games. You might be shocked to hear that. It adds a lot to me zooming in. So you can call it the enhance button. Yeah, pretty much. So I've been very much enjoying using that. So I also have a couple of higher pitched voices. They're really fun to use. I actually used to stream with something closer to this. This was actually part of my original streaming voice. Now I stream in much more of a natural voice. Well, it's not really my natural voice, but it's my normal voice. It's the voice I normally use every day. But I also have... I also have sort of like this himbo. I don't know. It's not great. I'm just sort of looking at my list of stuff here. I got a bunch of notes about what these voices are supposed to sound like, but I don't know what they're supposed to be. I have no idea. Oh, and I need to work on them because I want to get better at them. All of them. I want to get better in general. I just want to be better. And I want to improve myself. And I feel like I'm succeeding. A little bit each day. A little bit each day I become slightly better. What is this a note for? This is a microphone, isn't this? Was this another mic I was looking at? Oh yeah, that was the other mic that I had considered at some point that I didn't get because I got the Shure. Okay. I also use the gravel voice. The gravel voice is kind of fun, too. Listen up, soldier. Once in a while, you need to have a good voice for a gritty hero. Someone who is gonna eat sand. And smoke cigarettes. Because that's what cool people do. I don't know. I got stuff. Rawr! Buh. And yeah, my normal streaming voice is my normal speaking voice, not my natural voice. I have actually permanently changed my natural voice into something that I'm more proud of, because I used to get super dysphoric about my voice. That was actually part of, a big thing in my life was I had I was getting I have dysphoria. This is a thing that happens. Can I keep up the gruff voice? Can I keep up the gruff voice for a long recording session? Actually, I can. It's actually something that I can do for an extended period. It's not, ideal, and you gotta have a lot of water to sustain it. But I've actually done this for a full stream. I've actually done a full 2-hour stream in the past, in this voice. It's a lot of fun. So I can actually use this for a long time, for an extended period. It doesn't actually kill my voice as long as well, there's different ways of doing it. You can fry the voice in a way that damages your voice and can make that permanent, or it can hurt your vocal cords, or can put you out of commission for a few days. But the way I do it is actually tremulating a bit higher in the throat than
like really deep in the flaps, so I can sustain this for a much longer time period. This is more similar to how punk singers will do their voices so they can still do a whole set and then talk afterwards, so they can still do an entire hour-long production. They end up doing it a little bit more like what I'm doing here, because that's how I learned it from, because I wanted to do it sustainably, right? You want to be able to do it for something that you can maintain for long periods. Because if I end up getting a role with this voice, I'm going to need to be able to do this for 6 hours in a booth, right? How do I laugh? How do I laugh this voice? I don't bloody know. I have no idea how to laugh in that voice. I'm going to have to figure that out. I started laughing, it's like it just kind of fell apart because I don't know how to laugh in that voice. I genuinely don't know how that voice can laugh. That's like Beavis. No, it's the worst. Yeah, I guess this voice doesn't laugh. It's all brutal. It's all angry all the time. I guess that's how it laughs. Hello, Dog Duster. Hello, Dog Duster. Hello, Dog Duster. Hello. Where's my voice? What voice am I using these days? I'm just using my main voice. Hello, Dog Does Stuff. You came in at the end of a stream where I am just talking about stuff. I've done acting and game design for most of my life, and now I stream because it combines two things that I'm very passionate about. And we were just talking about some voice acting, so you heard some weird voices when you came in. I'm sorry. I'm not actually sorry, but I'm going to say I'm sorry because it seems like it's the right thing to say. Because you walked in on me making a weird voice. Dude, where's another? I don't know. I have other voices. I am pretty happy with how I voice acted Final Fantasy VI, but honestly, I'm not as happy with how I'm voice acting Chrono Trigger. The reason being that I'm kind of picking a voice at the beginning of the characters talking, right? As soon as I see the character's model, I start to pick out a voice for them. The problem is, I don't know the character's personality yet, right? I'm not going to use the dumb himbo voice. Like, I'm not going to use this, himbo flunky voice of a character if I don't know that they're a himbo, right? And I'm probably going to be more likely to pick out, like, a drill sergeant voice if I see some dude in armor, like a big guy, because he's, like, big and stuff, right? So I'm probably not going to drop into this one. But, like, that might be right for a character, and I might just be using the wrong one because I'm picking a voice immediately just to snap judgment based on literally on the model in the first line of dialogue. And that's why I end up just going into a lower voice for many of these characters. Just going into a lower voice for many of these characters because I don't know what kind of personality they're going to have, and I might try to adapt it later on, but like I don't know the game, right? I've never played Chrono Trigger. I'm still learning the game on the way. I'm learning the characters along with all of you. Whereas Final Fantasy VI, I know those characters like the back of my own hand. Like, I know what those characters sound like. I know what they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act. And that's why I was able to get much better voice acting in that game, is because, well, I knew what the plan was right from the start. Right? I literally had half those voices planned before the character was on screen. Gao! I knew Gao's voice. I knew Gao voice before Gao showed up because I was looking forward to using Gao's voice on the character, and Gao's voice was really fun to do because you make weird accents. You put the accent, you put it on weird places, and it's not consistent because he doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't know talking good, and he learned to talk from people and not like being one of them. He learned to talk from the outside, and that makes a really fun to voice character because it's completely unique, it's completely distinct, and it sounds wild, right? It sounds wild in the sense of it sounds like somebody who doesn't understand how speech works, but not in an English second language sort of way, but more in a I don't understand exactly how these words are supposed to be making sounds sort of way. That's what I was going for, at least. Gao talk is how you imagine Jade talks in roleplay. Yeah, when I'm role-playing as Kid Jade, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's actually spot on. But like I know Gao. I know where his story was going to go. I knew what the personality of the character was and his backstory, and I knew what his secret was going to be about his father. Like before I started streaming, so I was able to formulate a voice that I felt was going to hit all the high marks for each of his scenes. I had basically played out the Gao meets Cyan scene in my head, just in the car driving places before we got to that point in the play. Actually, it was on the motorcycle because that's what, I use that a lot more often. And like if I'm on my motorcycle, I am usually practicing voice lines. Real talk. If I'm on the motorcycle, I am usually talking to myself, and luckily it's people don't listen because they can't hear, but because it'd be really embarrassing if they could. If I'm in the car, I'm usually listening to a book on tape, but I will not listen to a book on tape on the motorcycle because I don't want to split my brain in that direction. You know what I'm saying? It takes more focus to ride a motorcycle, which is why it's more fun. Monkey. True, monkey. I personally believe in crabs more. Crabs are better than monkeys. Do not return to monkey. Ascend to crab. Evolve to crab. Grow until the crab fills your heart. Welcome the crab into your heart where it belongs, and it will strengthen you with its many arms and strong outer shell. Why go back to the soft flesh of the monkey when we can ascend and become like crabs ourselves? Return to Monkey Island. Fantastic game. Genuinely one of the best games of all time. The only reason I haven't played Monkey Island is because Dominic Armato is an absolute genius, and I'm not going to talk over his lines, right? I refuse. I will not talk over Dominic Armato if I'm playing a game. Just not going to happen. Dominic Armato is genuinely one of my heroes. Unironically, Dominic Armato is one of my heroes, and that as much as I want to play Monkey Island's games, it's a lot of not me, because it's a lot of characters talking, and I feel like I could stream that, but I don't know if it would be a good experience. I don't know, I could try it. I love the games enough. I adore them, and it's been so long since I played them, I probably don't remember the puzzles either. I probably genuinely do not remember the puzzles in the game, which would make it, a new experience. A new endeavor. I don't know. Great games, though. Highly recommend. If you haven't played the Monkey Island games, or if you did play them a long time ago, go pick up the remasters. They're on Steam. When did the special editions come out, actually? Let me check. Monkey Island Special Edition came out in 2009. Huh, longer ago than I thought. Fantastic games, though. And the special edition has fully voiced and remastered artwork that is just exquisite. Just genuinely exquisite. Although I will say, there are still new adventure games that are very good. One of the games I'm going to be playing in the future. Maybe I'll do it after Outer Worlds. But one of the games I'm going to be playing in the future is going to be Enigmatis, which is an adventure game that you've never heard of. It's a Lovecraftian adventure game where you as a detective are trying to find out the secrets of a cult that is trying to summon an elder god. And you've never heard of it. Don't tell me you have heard of it. Do not pretend. Do not sit here and lie to me and say that you have heard of this game before. I know you haven't. It's incredibly obscure. Except it's not actually that obscure, because it's a really popular and very big game. It's made by Artifex Mundi, which is a fantastic studio that you've never heard of. Again, this is a great game that I think that adventure games are still going strong. But adventure game players have changed. The people who play adventure games is not the same demographic as it used to be. the people who played Monkey Island are now playing Fallout New Vegas, and they're playing the like Streets of Rogue and or not Streets of Rogue. What is it? Heck, the Way Forward game that I played with Jack Shadows. River City Girls, that one. River City Girls and Shantae. Like, the people who played those games are now playing the modern RPGs. But adventure games are still around. So trans women, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. That's just a fact. You're just speaking facts right now. Look, when it first came out, a lot of people, a lot of young men went and played Fallout New Vegas, and now there's a lot of those same adult women are looking back at the franchise fondly. I'm just saying. Today's adventure gamers don't have to deal with the goat puzzle. True. Heck them. But yeah, nowadays, adventure games are hidden object games, and hidden object games are still popular and good. I highly recommend it. Hidden object games are underrated, because that is what adventure games actually became. Adventure games are still around. They're just not what you expect them to be anymore. I also want to play Disco Elysium. I want to play Disco Elysium on the channel so bad. I really do. I think that's going to have to wait for a hot minute, though. I also did pick up Evoland, so I recommended it during the Go Godot Game Jam. So I went and bought it, and I do plan on following. If we finish up Chrono Trigger before Buck is back for Illusion of Gaia, I'm going to play Evoland. Because it came highly recommended, and I've played through all of the generations of games that it highlights. Because the part of the point of the game is that you go from 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit to 3D, to better 3D. It goes through the journey of game development throughout history, which is awesome, and I definitely want to play that. Let's see here. Are there any other questions? Let me just toss open to questions for now, because I am having a good time talking with y'all. Actually, yeah, let me ask you this. What game do you want to see after we finish Outer Worlds? Outer Worlds is going to take a while. I feel like that's going to be a long game. I don't actually know how long it is. But after Outer Worlds, what game do you guys want to see next? Oh, I said something about dysphoria earlier. What did I mean by that? I identify as non-binary. I have been on HRT, estrogen and estradiol, for a couple of years now. I didn't start until much later in life, and yeah. So I have dysphoria about my voice, and I have much less dysphoria about my body now. I'm actually much happier with my body. I can, if I spend the time on my outfit and my makeup, I can pass as female or pass as male. And sometimes I will actually get called. I actually got a "Hello, ladies" when I walked into a store with just along near another woman. Someone that said hello is like, oh, I was not even dressed feminine. I was not even trying to present feminine. It was just like, oh, well, thank you. Yuppie Psycho. I assume that's a game that you're referencing, or is that like a call out? Are you just? Oh, okay. Indie Adventure. It looks interesting. I will add that to a note list. Controlling your friend who's obsessed with fictional men? Look, fictional men are pretty hot. I see no problem there. So, after Outer Worlds, when am I there's a good question. When am I going to play PT? For those of you who don't know, I do have a PlayStation 4 that has PT installed on it. It's the PlayStation 4 that I used to play Elden Ring, and that I used before then to play... What did I play on there? Yeah, something else. And Bloodborne. Yeah, I used it to play Bloodborne. And... it has PT installed. Which apparently is, like, extraordinarily rare. I don't do well on horror games, and I am terrified to play it. I am genuinely scared, unironically scared, to play that game. But I'm gonna play it on the channel. I'm gonna play it on the channel during October. This October, I'm gonna play PT. I may scream, I may cry. I've screamed on the channel before, I've cried on the channel before, so it's not gonna be anything new. You guys have dealt with that. You guys know how that works. but I am going to also do an incentivization. Each stream, if I receive a total of 50 Canadian dollars of super chats, I am going to turn off the lights. That's my plan. That's my promise. That's my goal. While playing PT, I'm going to regret this. I'm $1,000,000% going to regret this. But if I receive 50 total dollars worth of super chats, I will turn out the lights. I did this during Soma. I think for Soma it was a lot lower. No, actually I didn't even have super chats then. I actually just did it. Whatever. Ripley, I'd like to see you play something that brings you out of your comfort zone. Go watch my Soma playthrough. Jeez. My Soma playthrough brought me out of my comfort zone a lot. There was one moment in Soma. If you've seen the VODs, you know it. There was one moment in Soma that legit shook me. That actually completely destroyed me. And not in a, oh no, I'm scared sort of way. Just in the rest of the stream, I'm just like deadpan and just like unnerved. Like, it wasn't even a streamer scare. It wasn't like eek! Oh no! I got jump scared! No, it was just me going, okay, we're going to go in here now. It's fine. Like, just genuinely unnerved. It was... That moment still scares me. That moment genuinely still scares me. And it was not even... It was a really strange moment to that. Because what it was for me, I love scuba diving. I love the water, I love the ocean, I love scuba diving. The moment that got me was when we fell off of the continental shelf. We fell down. And the game could have just put up a game over screen. It was entirely in their power to just put up a game over screen and try again. That was an option. They could have done that. Instead, you go down, you color shift out into blackness, and you hear cracks in your glass visor. You hear the glass visor that your character has in their diving helmet stress crack. And that's what did it. That's what did it for me. That sent me over the edge. Metaphorically. And that I could not handle that. That's the part that I couldn't handle. It wasn't the transhumanism. I'm a transhuman. I understand transhumanism. Like the philosophical scary bits, like, oh no, I actually genuinely understand and agree with those philosophies. The scary monsters and like the spooky weird design things that you can't look at. scary. I was genuinely scared by that, but like that was a different kind of scare. That was a, oh no, please don't eat me scare. Not a, oh no, this has shaken something loose in my core being that I don't feel comfortable with anymore. Yeah, the next System Shock is another one that I do want to play. And not Bioshock. I could play the new Bioshock Infinite and yell about it, because I was mad about that game. I also kind of want to go replay the original Bioshock, because I did not like it when I first played it. When I first played Bioshock, I did not have a good time. I've talked about that before. I expected Bioshock to be a survival horror game. I expected Bioshock to be the sequel to System Shock 2. Because that's what they told me it was. That's what the game itself said it was trying to be in all of its advertising. Then I played it and it was a shooter. It was not a survival game. There was no horror elements. And halfway through the game, you're farming Big Daddies for parts. It's not a horror game anymore. It's an action game. And I didn't like it because I was trying to play it like a horror game, right? I was trying to play it as if I was a horror game. Ah. Hello, Otaku Moogle. Welcome back. Would the new Deus Ex games be considered a trans rights allegory? It can be read as that, but it's more a breakdown, a teardown of the capitalistic focus of medicine for profit, right? As much as it's easy to read a trans allegory into Deus Ex, and as much as you are right that there is a lot of that there, the bigger thing that Deus Ex I feel is more focused on is actually the medical the idea of medical second-class citizens. The idea of more like about almost a type of slavery. Well, literally a type of slavery in the game, but a metaphorical type of slavery in the real world, where it's more profitable for a company to treat a symptom than it is for them to cure a problem. Where in the real world, in certain countries that shall remain nameless, it is difficult to get healthcare. I know a lot of friends who need healthcare. And one of my friends is in a catch-22 situation where they need antidepressants to carry on a stable job. And they need a stable job to have an insurance so they can get antidepressants. And if they were in a system that respected them, this is as political as I'm going to get. If they were in a system that respected them, they would be able to live a fairly normal life. But they're not in that situation, and it pains me. So I think that's more what Deus Ex is about. There are definitely comparisons to trans rights in there, and that is definitely a valid read of the source material. But I don't think that is the core of what the game is about, as opposed to like Celeste, right? Celeste is about trans rights, is about transgender, and the anxiety of dysphoria and the coming of both acceptance of who you are and acceptance of who you want to be. That's what Celeste is about. Celeste is about trans rights from the ground up. Deus Ex is about second-class citizenship through medical, through systems that are designed to restrict your ability to be healthy and live productively. And that's something that, well, is a problem in parts of the world. So I think that answers things. Celeste made you angry. The game was too hard for you. I recommend you try it again and do not take any shame in taking in the assist modes. The assist mode in Celeste is one of the best ones that has ever been designed. Celeste's assist mode lets you play the game as easily or difficultly as you want or as you need, while still letting the core of the game exist. The core of the game still exists when you play with assist modes on. The assist modes add a lot to the game and while allowing it to become accessible to most players. You can't get yourself to play with assists. You should be able to overcome it. That's exactly the kind of internal thinking and refusal to accept help that the trans game about anxiety is trying to get you to overcome. I should be able to overcome this. The game is literally telling you you don't have to overcome it until you're ready, and they're going to give you the tools to help you on the way. You can use the system mode until you get a better handle on the game and then turn them off or wean yourself off them. That's literally what they're there for, mate. I'm sorry. Your phrasing on that could not be funnier. I'm sorry, but the phrasing on that could not be better. I should be able to do this on my own. It's okay to reach out for help. That's the text. That's literally the plot, mate. I'm sorry to call you out so hard, but it's okay, mate. Oh, I need some more water. How do you guys like hearing that straw noise? On real talk, real talk. Do you guys like hearing that straw noise when I get a drink? Because I could mask it. I could put, intentionally do it a lot slower. You couldn't get into that part of the plot? Because you can get that part of the game. Yeah, as long as you admit that it's funny now. As long as you acknowledge that it's funny. But so yeah, if you don't know, I have a bucket. I have a water bucket at my desk that I drink water out of because I like drinking water out of a bucket. And I have a nice, metal straw that is rainbow colored, not like LGBT rainbow patterns. It's just sort of prismatic. It just sort of has a rainbow prismatic look to it. And yeah, it makes a cool noise when I drop the straw in. And I kind of sometimes feel like I should leave it, like I should quiet that. And I also kind of feel like it's cute and iconic. Like it's sort of like a thing that you guys know that you might be able to hear and recognize. I don't know. I have no idea if it's a good idea. I have no idea if I should be doing that. I have no idea. But sometimes people say they like it. Like Sapphire says they like it, and Tuzzy says yes. Is it the heated metal rainbow? Yes, it is. Exactly that. Yes, it's the heated metal rainbow on an aluminium straw in a steel bucket. Yes, it is. Exactly that. By the way, I'm sure all of you are, but make sure you subscribe to the channel because we do fun things here, and I play video games. Which some of you apparently already have. I'm up to 1509. Wow, heck yeah. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's making happen. God, when I broke... It was 1,000, yeah. When I broke 1,000, I saw the number, I screenshotted it, I was hype, I think I talked about it. I talked about it in the Discord, and then I lost like 4 subscribers, which is natural, right? I don't begrudge that. There's a natural ebb and flow to subscriber counts, right? On a given day, I will gain 3 subscribers and lose 2, right? That's normal. And it bit me then because I dropped below 1,000 for like a couple days. Like I spiked up to 1,000 from like 980 or 970, 9 somethings, and then I was like, yes, I'm doing it. And then it dripped below 1,000 for like a week, and I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm not doing it. I was just like super sad about it. Just like genuine despair. It's like, no, number, please come back. Now it's a bit more consistent. Now I can more reliably get, I've gotten 60 in the past 28 days for a little bit of background. So I'm fairly regularly getting 2 subscribers a day, though that is also counting events. Actually, is that going back to the Game Jam? Because that was a big influx. Was that 2 months? When was that? Okay, that was in the last 2 months. So that number is including the Game Jam. Sorry, head pat. Aw, thank you for head pats. I appreciate. I really do like head pats. Head pats are the best. Oh, so after Outer Worlds, between Dishonored, The Witcher, Sekiro, and let's say Ghost of Tsushima, and Sniper Ghost Warrior. You know, I'm just gonna make this a poll. Let's see how many people are actually paying attention to polls. You guys paying attention to polls? I can add 5, right? Oh, I can only add 4, so I guess I'm gonna drop one of these. Alright, The Witcher, I don't know if I want to do Sekiro yet. So, okay, there it is. Good. So, you guys know what The Witcher is. At the very least... Should I make me to Punk Moogle? Yo, that sounds cool. At the very least, you guys know what The Witcher is, right? The Witcher is a very famous game, and a very good game by all accounts, but that I have never played. Sniper Ghost Warrior is a sniping game, and I approach sniping games as puzzle games. They are not shooters. They are stealth puzzle games, and something that I have enjoyed playing in the past. Dishonored are fantastic games. Chat gone? Where'd chat go? Oh, on the channel, on the stream. That's true. Dishonored 1 and 2 are RPGs, very similar to Outer Worlds. They're RPGs. Which are focused more on stealth. And then Sekiro, got a lot of people who were watching me play Elden Ring, and Sekiro is another game by FromSoft that I didn't really play. Because, well, frankly, I bounced off it. I'm willing to try it again. I'm looking forward to trying it again. But that was a game that I had bounced off of in the past. Because Sekiro... So you know how Elden Ring is really good at stealth? Like, surprisingly good at stealth? Like, you know how Elden Ring is weirdly good at stealth? Like, you know how you can actually play Elden Ring as a stealth game at multiple points in the game? You're like, you know how Elden Ring is kind of awesome? Sekiro has those stealth elements. Those stealth elements were introduced in Sekiro. But Sekiro doesn't let you stay stealthed. You have to get out of stealth and engage in actual combat fighting moments. Often, a lot. For the bosses. But you can stealth through a lot of the rest of the gameplay. So I kind of bounced off it because I didn't learn how to do the actual fights because I was too busy stealthing. And then when I came to actually having to fight stuff, I was like, oh, I don't know how the game works. Yeah, those are the 4 options. We're seeing a close split between Witcher and Sniper. I'll leave it up for another minute or two. We're not going to be going for... Well, I don't know how long we're going to go for. We're going to be here because I like you guys and you're nice. You're all so nice. How are you so nice? Explain yourselves. I need to find more YouTube VTubers around my size. That's what I need. Because all of my other streaming friends are Twitch. And I love them. My Twitch friends are fantastic. I love all of my friends who are on Twitch. They're all wonderful people, and I will hug every single last one of them. But I need to find more people who are like me. And you know why I'm a YouTuber, not a Twitch streamer. You understand it. You get it. You guys get it. You guys get it. So there's the question of how do I get into a content creator circle, right? How do I get into, not necessarily a group, I mean, sure, yeah, I will apply to Hololive again in a few weeks. I will apply to Niji-Sanji as soon as they open their auditions again. But moreover, what I'm, absolutely, I would love few things more than getting able to get in that kind of group. But moreover, I just getting into something like V-Creatures, but on YouTube, right? I am on YouTube, and V-Creatures are all Twitch streamers, the people who stream. A good chunk of V-Creatures doesn't even stream, which is, well, different. So that's one of my goals right now, is to try to find more YouTubers, more YouTube content creators that I can hang out with and, you know, collab with. And that's proven to be fairly difficult because I don't even know where to look. Because a lot of my friends come from my other friends, and my other friends are friends with people who are on Twitch, and those friends are going to do raiding parties when they're done streaming. And it's like, I can't do that. And I know for a fact, I just know for a fact that I'm not getting the same cross-pollination on viewership, right? A lot of the people who watch Twitch streamers are less likely to watch, not all of them, but some people who watch Twitch streamers are less likely to watch YouTubers. And as a result, being friends with all these wonderful, wonderful Twitch streamers is not necessarily meeting people who are doing the same thing that I do, right? Like, let me, a good example. Oh, hello, Shadow Chaser. How are you doing today? A good example is Venji. I love Venji. Venji is a wonderful bean. He's an absolute delight. Go watch It's Venji on Twitch. But his style could not be more different than mine. His style could not be farther from mine because of the way that he engages with community, the way that he focuses on chat, the way that he has a billion redeems and pop-ups and a whole bunch of sound alerts. And it's like, it's cool. It works for him. But not only is that not what I do, but moreover, that's not what I want to do. Like, I could make all the same sound alert stuff that Venji has. I'm not going to. And the reason I'm not going to is because I want to make the YouTube experience good, and that kind of stuff stinks on the rewatch. To be blunt, that kind of stuff stinks when you're not live. And Twitch is all about the live content, and I want to make things that people can go back and watch. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm currently trying to do, is I'm trying to find some more YouTuber, either VTubers or other content creators similar to me. Like Redefined Game Dev and Ivis and those people, the other people I met from through Go Godot Game Jam. They're great people, and I love working with them. And honestly, working with Adrian has been some of my best experiences streaming. Like setting me up to do my setting me up in the Game Jam and building that Game Jam together with him and being a part of it has been wonderful. Has been an absolute delight. All right, looks like The Witcher won the poll, which is completely reasonable. Back up here. Should update any second. I hope. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. There it goes. Cool. So yeah, I guess following Outer Worlds, we will be doing The Witcher. I'm surprised that there were no votes for Sekiro or Dishonored. I thought Dishonored was going to get some hype on there. I genuinely did. That's why I put it Dishonored up there instead of, so I put both of those on there instead of Ghost of Tsushima. But that's fair. Part of the reason why you like watching Hololive stream is after they're done is they don't have those alerts all the time. Exactly. That is 1,000,000% correct. Hololive streams are good to watch. I mean, I watched Niji Sanji more than Hololive. Personally, that's, stylistically, but when I'm watching them, I'm almost never catching them live. I'm almost always catching a VOD or series. Like, I'll be watching a Debbie play through Detroit Become Human, or watching, one of Miyabi's just chatting streams, or was watching Korone do literally anything. Seriously, Korone's a delight. And I'm never watching it live, because I like to be able to watch things on my own. You're basically like a Gura and Ame. Gura and Ame are amazing. They really are. Like, almost, I can't think of any other VTuber or any other content creator offhand that can play to an audience the way that Gura can. Gura is an absolutely incredible streamer. She deserves every bit of her fame. She does great work, and I have nothing but respect for it. Yeah, and Ame is a delight. I don't watch Ame a lot just because she doesn't play the kind of games that I enjoy watching as much. Honestly, mostly of the English VTubers, Of English Hololive, I've watched the most of Ina. I think Ina is much more my style and much more my mood if I'm watching somebody. Though, if I'm talking any English VTuber, that's probably going to go to Pomu. Pomu Rainpuff is... Oh, Pomu is wonderful. I'm a big fan of Pomu. Pomu and Ina are probably my two favorite English VTubers. Both of them are very powerful. And I need to get my applications in for both of those studios again, because it's been a couple months. Hololive lets you apply every 3 months, I think it is. And I think I'm pretty close to that, actually. When was my... Actually, yeah, I can actually do my next Hololive edition this month. My last Hololive edition was, Yeah, okay, yeah, actually I'm on slate to do that. Do I know Kyoshi channel? Kyoshi. No, actually. Hold on, let me look them up. Oh, they seem very polite. I will look them up. Ooh, VR chat streams. Nice. I've been planning on spending more time in VR chat. I like VR chat. It's very comfy and very cozy. I'm not really social in VR chat. I don't like talk to other people in VR chat. But VR chat is a nice place to be. Oh, Kyoshi is actually live right now. I will investigate them. Thank you for the contact info, I guess. Sapphire. I'm gonna ask him if he knows me. Oh. I think I'm officially a medium-sized VTuber. I think I've officially crossed the threshold from small VTuber into medium-sized VTuber. Yeah, you don't need VR for VR chat. That's actually true. You don't actually need VR to play VR chat. It's a different experience, obviously, but it's still a very good one. You like watching Kiara, Ina, Fauna, and sometimes Mume and Bei. I haven't watched a lot of the newer ones. I know Mume is pretty great, and I've been recommended that Mume is both very good and has some similarities to my style, which is high praise, frankly. For me, I mean, obviously. I'm 101 centimeters. I'm small. Yes, no matter how... I made the comment that I'm no longer a small VTuber, I'm a medium VTuber, and someone said, "Oh, does that mean you can ride the roller coasters?" And I'm like, "Oh." Like, no, it does not. Ba ba ba. You have 3D modeling skills. You can make the best avatar. What just stands in place. I am going to be looking to hire a 3D modeler for a side project in the future, for what it's worth. I already have someone who I'm intending to contact, but I haven't actually... the project isn't ready at that point yet. But yeah, if you want... Toss your portfolio in the chat. Tuzzy mainly watches V Creatures and a couple of others in another streaming circle. That's fair. That's fair. The V Creatures is fantastic. Please never misconstrue anything that I've said as anything but love for all of V Creatures. They are all wonderful beings, and I would die for any of them. But, you know, YouTubing is different than... YouTubing or Picarto, which honestly is very much the style of a couple of them, is just not YouTubing, right? YouTubing is different from Twitching, is different from Picardoing. And it should be, right? It absolutely should be. It absolutely should be. because I like the fact that my VOD, I genuinely try to keep my VODs as entertaining as my live. It's going to be harder for something like this because someone isn't going to be chatting with me, but for all of my gameplay streams, I feel like watching them on recording is genuinely going to be as entertaining as watching live. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it's entirely possible, right? And honestly, one thing I found difficult is it's difficult to get good feedback. I've literally done an entire stream about giving feedback for beta testing, but I consistently run into this issue where it's repeatedly difficult to get really good feedback about how I'm doing. I don't know. I'm improving. I know I'm getting better because I can look at some of my old stuff and say it was trash. Like, seriously, going back and rewatching some of my older stuff, it's like, wow, I am so much better now than I used to be. I'm not ashamed of my old stuff because it's who I was at that time, and I'm still proud of it. And some of my older stuff, like Chicory, for example, I'm still very proud of. I still think Chicory was a fantastic playthrough. And I still think that Soma and Prey hold up as well. Even though they're much, much, much older. But, like, at the same time, it's like, I know I'm so much better now. I know I'm, like, such a better streamer now. I have better flow. I have better thought process. I don't stutter as much. I used to stutter a bit more. I still stutter once in a while, but usually now it's for comedic effect. Usually now I know I'm stuttering, and it's either a choice for narration for how I'm just choosing to describe things. Kind of like that. Or I don't know, just stuff. As a bit, sometimes. Once in a while I can stutter as a bit. You know, just normal stuff things. Oh my gosh, I hit 1510. I already got a subscriber. Heck yeah. It's happening! Stream until I hit 1600. No, I'm not doing that. I do plan on... He did not know you, but... He's just busy. Fair, fair, fair. I do... Yeah. I do think I'm getting much better, and I feel like I'm really proud of myself. And I do need that new model, but again, there's been... I'll tell the story of the number of delays that I got on that model when on my 2.0 debut, but that's going to be, like I said, that's going to be months away. Don't hold your breath. That is a good question. Any advice on speaking more while streaming? Yes. I have 3 good advices. And good night to Macleus. I have 3 good advices. The first, you're scared of my laugh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Serious stream, serious stream. This is now a serious stream. I will not laugh anymore. There is no laughing to be had here. It is only seriousness. Okay, I can't keep that up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So. If you want to speak more while streaming, 3 things. 1, well, okay, first of all, 0. You need to already be doing it before people show up. Do not wait until concurrent viewers says more than 0 for you to, or more than 1, or more than 3 for you to start talking. Because people will show up, and whether it's Twitch or YouTube, it will not register until they've already been there for 40 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. On YouTube, a week. It's serious. Sometimes it just, YouTube does not update things well. So you need to already be talking before people show up, so that when people show up, you are already talking about the game. How do you do this? The first answer is going to be the one that's not going to help you at all, okay? The first answer is going to be the one that's not useful in any way, shape, or form, and that is get a degree in fine arts and work an improv-focused job for 6 years. I'm sorry, but there are there really genuinely are some things that my lived experience is not going to be able to reproduce, right? I do have advice for you. Please stick around. I do have actual advice for you. But I have to preface it by saying that, because I have that acting background. I have that improv training. There is going to be something in my style which is not going to resonate with you unless you've had that. I'm sorry. That's just the world. That's just where I am at my stage in life and what I've done to become who I am, right? So my first piece of advice is, if you genuinely want to stream, or if you genuinely want to act, or if you genuinely want to do improv, take an improv course. Stream, just do it, right? Just do it until you get better at it. And do research. Listen to your own streams. If you can't listen to your own streams, you have a problem. Because you won't be able to listen and find your own weaknesses. You must, every once in a while, you must listen to your own streams. That's my first point of real advice. Is every once in a while, listen to your own stream and listen for yourself about what you enjoy and what you don't. If you don't like yourself stream, make yourself better. If you don't like your own stream, pick out pieces that you think you can improve on. Say, I was too long of a delay here. I stuttered too much on this line. I repeated myself here. I repeated myself here, and I keep repeating myself, and I started on this line, and I took too long between that line, and now I'm just repeating myself. And like, if it's not for a bit, that's bad. If it's for a bit, that's great. But if it's not for a bit, that's bad. I will usually repeat myself twice to add emphasis, and also because I talk fairly quickly. So repeating myself is a way of slowing down my talk so that I can think of what I'm saying next before I say it. That's my second piece of advice, is think about what you're going to say before you say it. And you do that by giving yourself breathing room, right? I'm giving myself breathing room by, right there, you see I said it twice. Give yourself breathing room. I'm giving myself breathing room by, that was it. That was me doing it. Just to point it out, just so you can see it, just so you can hear it. I did it again, just so you can see it, just so you can hear it. Like, right there. Repeat yourself. I do that as a trick to give myself, my brain-mind time to catch up. So that's my second piece of advice, is think about what you're saying. My third piece of advice is don't think about what you're saying. I'm serious. I'm actually dead serious about this. My third piece of advice genuinely is separate the part of your mind that has a flow of speech, the part of your brain that just talks and doesn't have anything else in check. Separate that part of your brain enough that it can just talk while you're looking at your follower count, while you're looking at the game, while you're playing the game, while you're doing other stuff. That part has to be able to work independently of the rest of your mind. And that's not easy. That will take practice. That takes nothing less than practice, and nothing more than practice will get you to do that. One way that you can train that I did, is plan out your games pre-debut specifically for that. Pre-debut games, I focused on games that will improve me as a VTuber. Strategy games that are slow-paced to force myself to fill dead air. Difficult games that require a lot of mental focus that that forced me to become better at paying attention to my own narratives, and split that brain mind apart so that I was able to talk while playing. And hello, Tori Floop. Is it a pleasure to see you as always? What else did I do? Yeah, basically find a whole bunch of games that will make you a better streamer in your brain, and then learn from it. So that's my fourth, I think? Third, fourth, whatever. I don't know what I'm on. Another one is you need a unicorn. It's exactly what Phantos and Tuzzy said, is you need a programming duck. Get a small plushie, or a stress toy, or a picture, and name it Chat. I don't actually have Chaticorn out anymore. I used to have a squishy hand stress toy. It's stress toy, that's what it is. It's stress toy. I used to have a stress toy on my desk that is the shape of a unicorn. And I called it my Chaticorn. And I put it on my desk and I would talk to it. That way you are personifying chat. That way chat exists and you are talking to them. Not just talking at the chat box, but you're talking to something that you can more connect with. I don't use Chaticorn anymore, but I do have 3 animation cells. If you ever see me looking here, here, or here, that is me looking directly at one of the 3 animation cells that I have on the wall above my monitor. One is Trom from Violence of Hamlin, one is Cardcaptor Sakura, and one is Catgirl Nuku Nuku. They're just animation cells of series that I love. And I will look at them on occasion and talk to them. You'll notice that if you actually watch me closely, you'll see my head do this. You'll see me look up and talk to them fairly often. Though you'll also see me doing this a lot to talk to chat directly, but those are chat devices. Yeah, those are things that will help you. You have a burger stress ball? That should work perfectly. Yeah. It's important. The important thing is that it has a face. Honestly, that's what it is. It has to have a face so that you can connect with it, because that's the point, is that it's hard to connect with chat just in names. Not when you're on Discord, it's not. Not when you're on Twitter, it's not. But when you're talking openly and constantly, and you have to be talking constantly. If you're talking openly and constantly, then you will need that. You will need something to connect to. And hello, Zal. How are you doing this wonderful day? So those are my advices. Think about what you're talking. Don't think about what you're talking. Take a background, practice your acting. Take a study course in improv. If you're in college, you can probably take that as one of your gen eds. Or your major if you're me. And get a Chatacorn, and yeah. Those are my advices to you for getting better at talking to chat. Speaking more while streaming is important. So where do I look when I read chat? So, when I have a game running, my game is on my monitor here, where I'm looking right now. This right here is all looking at my monitor. And I have a different setup for when I'm doing chat streams, but over here is where chat is. So you'll pretty often see me looking all the way over here, all the way to this extreme side. And this is me looking at chat in my normal setup. Because, well, I have 2 monitors. One is a good monitor, and the other one is a piece of trash that I fished out of a dumpster. So my good monitor, a 30-ish inch 1440p widescreen, has my game and has my utilities, and my camera is right in front of it. My trash monitor is with chat, with OBS, and with VTube Studio is over here. And that is also where I have the ability to monitor my stream health and all that noise. So over here, when I'm looking over here, is when I'm staring at chat on a normal day. Today, chat's right in front of me, so you guys get the good seats today. Yeah, you guys get the good seats today. That's what it is. And you deserve them. You guys deserve the good seats more often, right? You guys absolutely deserve these seats. Tori has protogens. Are they stuffed or are they resin? I'm curious. Because I feel like a stuffed protogen would be weird, because protogens are supposed to have hard, metallic bits on them. But I also feel like a solid resin protogen or a solid metal protogen wouldn't be comfy to huggle. And that's also unacceptable. So I don't know. I'm curious about what your thoughts are on your protogens. You normally don't talk during cutscenes. I usually don't either. Except to add my own opinions and thoughts. I try not to talk as much during cutscenes. Oh, they're pictures. Oh, okay. Okay, got it. That makes sense. So, I don't know. For me, it's hit and miss. If there's music playing during the cutscene, I'll probably talk over it. Because I don't want to get demonetized. I've gotten demonetized during cutscenes a couple times. Not that often, but once in a while. If there's Otherwise, I will usually let the cutscene play out and then sort of just react or backchannel. Do you know what backchanneling is? As I get my next question. Backchanneling is... Okay, I will give the most obvious backchannel that everybody knows about. And if you clip this, I swear to God. So backchanneling is when you refer to the is when you make noises to respond to somebody in the middle of their talk without interrupting them. So if somebody is saying something and like, you know, so then I went over to the store and you're like, oh yeah, yeah. That's a back channel. It's basically just a verbal response that means you are still listening. It's saying, oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, and that's called back channeling. And I will usually back channel to the characters as a way of inserting myself into the conversation. So the character will go, "Did you hear about this?" And I'll go, "Oh, That just real simple, subtle stuff keeps me in the scene, both in my own mind and in the viewer's mind. It keeps Jade in the cutscene as a part of it for you guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The best part of it is you have a little dragon you got as a kid. You named it Jade, and it's so fluffy. Oh my goodness, I want to see it. And then there are also calls to back channel. The most well-known is the good old-fashioned Canadian A. A call to back channel is where you're saying something and you want to get some sort of verbal response. You want to get something out of the other person, eh? Where you're just talking about something and you just, you know, want to make sure the other person's paying attention or they care a little bit. You know, you're not actually worried about it because you're still staring at them, you're still listening to them, but you know what I mean, eh? And in Japan, it's, yeah, sorewa ii desu ne? That's basically the same inflection. It's ne? It's just that a call for back channel. So someone goes, and you go, sorewa ii desu ne? And someone goes, ii desu ne. Back channeling is actually very common in other languages. But, yeah, the classic example in English is the Canadian A, but honestly, you can find a lot of that in American dialects as well. You know, where the New York. So you're walking down the street, you know, and that you know is a call for the other person you're talking to go, yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about, mate. I don't know what that accent was. That was like somewhere in Australia, but yeah, the back channeling is that, and I will back channel with chat on occasion, like. But I usually have to make it more obvious. If I'm back-channeling with chat, it usually means that I'm going, hey, chat, what do you think about X? Or it's me going, you know, okay, so we're going to head over here, right? And I'm not actually expecting a response because I know it's going to be like 10 seconds later, right? That's just natural. But at the same time, I want that response. I'm calling for that response. It's a call and response. But yeah, that's my answer for cutscenes, is that in cutscenes, I will back-channel with the characters a little bit, just lightly. And if the character in the cutscene calls for a back channel, I will supply it. It's a linguistic thing. Again, fine arts degree. Tom Scott, I believe, has a fantastic video on back channeling. Yeah. If you search for Tom Scott back channeling, you'll find the no problem his thing about phatic expressions with kind of like ope. Where, oh, that's a Midwest thing, isn't it? That's like a Manitoba or well, yeah, like a Minnesota thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, I think that would track. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's another thing I do is I use vocal warm-ups once in a while. And people really like it. Which I find hilarious. I genuinely do find that hilarious. And I enjoy it, so like heck, why not, right? You're from the Midwest. My condolences. Sorry. Wow. Phantos, was that the line? Is that the line for you? Okay, good. We don't have to establish that. Got it. Okay, thank you. I have some family there. I think I'm allowed to say it. If I'm not, then no, whatever. Did I lose viewers for that? Honestly, fair. That's honestly reasonable. I can respect that. Anyways. Let's see. I kind of... Shadow Chaser, can you either put it in the Discord or throw me on Twitter? I really want to see what that dragon looks like. Like, that sounds incredible and I love it already. Hensha, please. Good times. I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am. Because then if you're not, it's just weird. I'm going to be right back. Hold on one moment here. Ask questions if you have questions. Return triumphantly. I said I was going to be right back. I said, be back. 1 second. Yeah, I have my sleep button. I can hit my sleep button to switch over to static shot. Otherwise, I walk away and my avatar just looks like this. You don't want to be staring at this avatar for a hot minute, right? It's not exactly the most fetching style. Not exactly the best artistic design. No. So whenever I step away from the computer, I hit the sleep button. And it's just labeled on my Stream Deck as sleep. It's right next to the panic button. If the background is perfect, you sleep on those rocks. Yeah, I love it. This background is so good. Dragon's Last Dream is the name of the artist who I commissioned for this, and I have worked with them before, and this is just phenomenal. I adore this background so much. It's just... Every time I've worked with Dragon's Last Dream, she has created something that has taken my base idea and elevated it to something even better than I could have hoped for. Elevated it to be something even cooler and better than I intended to hang out with. Like, I'm super happy with everything they've done. Your dragon is a cupcake. It's adorable. I also have a soundboard that I have never once remembered to use. I legit have a soundboard. I honestly just straight up have... I have a soundboard right in front of me. I've remembered it like once during Elden Ring to do with a lot no. Like I remember that once or twice. You like it when you say rata? Rata-ta-ta-ta. Harakapa. Rata-rata-rata. So, that's just vocal warm-ups. That is literally me just keeping my voice warmed up while I'm talking. And I did that a long time ago. And people loved it. Like, before streams, it's not uncommon for me just to do vocal warm-ups like wah 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 hara 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 papaparakapatarakato. And then one stream I was just like, I could feel my voice getting a little bit stale. So I took some water and I was at a slow point in the game, so I just went it's just one of my vocal warm-ups. And people in chat literally popped off. The people loved it. It was actually kind of amazing. I sound like Yoshi.
Now listen here, you. How dare you accuse me of sounding like Yoshi? I have never been so insulted in my life. Actually, I've been insulted a lot worse. Actually, just really cute and funny. But, but. Sorry, I have opinions about Yoshi and Smash. You know what game I haven't played is Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. The one with the baby crying Mario. I never actually played that. I'm gonna add that to the list. That's going on the list. That's now on the list. Hooray! Does he play the heck out of it? Nice. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to mention to Moogle is cut out that. Cut out as much and as you can. Sometimes it's better to fill it with dead air. Other times it's better just to say something else. Or just do a lingering pause. Kind of like that one. Like you saw I did it a moment ago, where it went. Sometimes it's better to say something else. Like that sort of lingering droll on the last syllable of the previous word. Is better than finishing that word and saying something else that's kind of stuttery. You're better off just... It's hard to say you're better off with dead air, because you're almost never better off with dead air. But cut that, minimize your ums and ahs. If possible. It's not always possible. Depending on who you are and who you stream as and what kind of stuff you do. But you'll get better over time. Targa Pontorto. We are at 3 and 20 minute hours. I figure I was honestly planning on going for like 90 minutes, but then people actually showed up, which is like still strange to me. Like I'm still getting used to the fact that people actually like show up and like me. I sound like your dragon cupcake. Aww. I will strive to sound like you're a dragon cupcake. That is my new goal. If I can sound like somebody's pet dragon that they've had as a plushie since their childhood. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for, right? I'm kind of going for that mascot style of character, of VTuber. So, like, the fact that you say that actually means a lot to me, because it means that I'm doing well. Because it literally means that I am effective in my acting choices. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Meow, meow, meow. I was genuinely expecting to have to pull out, like, Monster Train to fill air. Jade, I like you so much that I've showed up to every stream for a year. I know and I love it, and I hope that I have made a good impact on your life. Because I like having you here. I think it's fun. I love this. I feel happy. I feel proud of myself. It's weird. It's a weird feeling to feel proud of yourself. It's like a strange sensation, you know what I'm saying? I've spent so much of my life not. And it feels good to finally have that. I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of who I am. I feel like I've become awesome. And I can be more awesome. Like, I want to get more into voice acting. I want to get more into... You know, I actually don't know that I want to get more into game development. I've been in the games industry a very long time. And I love it. But I kind of want to focus more on acting stuff right now. I'll still have my game design chops. I still have, you know, my projects that I've completed. But I kind of feel like I want to focus more on the acting side of things and maybe get a few voice acting roles in the future. That would be where I want to go. Dragon Cupcake, named after me. Aww. And your second one is Yoshi Dragon, and he's very cute. They sound adorable.
Oh yeah, I wanted to play Spellforce. When would I don't know. Oh, next Thursday I have an interview with like a VTuber interview. Ice Emperor Penguinato invited me onto their channel to do a I poked them on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to like collab something?" And then they're like, "Sure." And then they came up and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come onto my channel and do an interview? I do an interview and talk show stream with other VTubers." And it's like, that sounds awesome. I was just expecting it to be a. I was expecting, you know, more of like, am I gonna link that on Discord? What? Oh, that's gonna be next week. That'll be linked when it happens. That's gonna be next Thursday in place of my variety stream. I am planning on doing more Let's Talk streams, at least until I get boring. I don't know how long that'll take. Probably not that long. But I'm gonna keep on doing Let's Chatting streams until the streams themselves become boring. I was genuinely expecting to have to pull out like Monster Train or Bloons Tower Defense to fill time. And your third one is a Santa one, and his name's Lucas. Aww, love him. Oh, yeah. So I will, yeah, the new videos section will includes me anytime I go live on another platform. I don't always tweet. Basically, Discord is my primary method of communication. Second to that is YouTube, right? The best thing that you can do to reach me is send a YouTube comment. I will see it instantaneously. After that, hit me on Discord, and I'll see that within an hour. That's where I also announce all of the stuff that I do. Discord is my primary method of communication. I have Twitter, but I hate Twitter. Twitter's just not good. I just do not like the Twitters. Twitter is a bad platform, and it makes me sad. But, whenever I'm doing something that's not on my platform, it is put onto the Discord instantaneously. I'm usually not going to plug a Twitch on a YouTube. Like, I'm not going to do a YouTube comment or a YouTube post that says, "Hey, I'm live on somebody else's Twitch." Just because A, algorithm, and B, timing. The new posts on Twitter YouTube don't show up right away. They might not show up for 36 hours. So I don't want to say, "Hey, I'm live over here" on YouTube post and then have it not show up. So I usually mostly reserve YouTube posts for dumb stuff, frankly, and my schedules, but mostly dumb stuff. Mostly dumb stuff. Let's be honest. If you look at my YouTube post history, hold on, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to subject all of you to my YouTube post history. Apparently you can substitute eggs with bananas in most recipes, and you can substitute eggs with blood in most recipes. Therefore, you should be able to substitute bananas with blood. That is my most recent YouTube post. I was a lot older than you when I was your age. That's the kind of stuff that I post on that's the kind of stuff that I post on YouTube. Ba-dum-bum-bow. I also do plan on doing more members-only streams. I plan on doing more members-only streams, or rather, doing more streams that are only archivable accessed by members. Cheers, Test. I hope you have a wonderful evening, friend. So I plan on adding more streams that are unarchived unless you have a membership. And then what is going to happen is anytime I have a Valorant, for example, or if I feel like just streaming Monster Train for a few hours, or if I feel like playing, I don't know, just a game that I'm not going to make into a series game, right? If I'm going to be playing, if I feel like streaming VR chat for some reason, I don't want my channel to be full of VR chat stuff, because that's not my primary branding. That's not my primary style of creating content. If I'm going to go play it, I do play it. Like, I do play a lot of Monster Train, and I've been really enjoying Valorant lately. But my way of handling that is going to be, I'm going to put a stream up. I'll stream for a few hours, and then after the stream, I will flag it as members only. So if anybody wants that content, it'll be there. And honestly, I just want more members in general. Like, real talk. Memberships are awesome, and I hope that people... I think you can gift people memberships. Can't you gift people memberships? Yeah, you can. You can. You can gift memberships. And I wish that people would treat memberships more like some Twitch subscriptions, because that's what they are. They straight up just are. Memberships are Twitch subs. Straight up. And the only difference is that your money doesn't go to Beth Jesus. You get access to the emotes. We have pretty cool emotes in the channel. But, I mean, I also don't want to, like, beg for it, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of wish people engaged in that. But people are, doing super chats, which fills me with joy. There's still the dream that someday this can become a full-time job, right? I need to increase my size by about 20 times, but it should be going faster than it was before. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm going to open the floor to any more questions, and then I'll probably evaporate. Do people have questions for the Jade? No? Okay. Well, I hope that all of you have had a wonderful time, because I really have. Like I said, I thought I was going to go for 90 minutes because I wasn't sure if people would show up for just me saying words, and then I ended up having a really good viewership, and I'm 3.5 hours into it, and it's really moving. It really does mean a lot to me. That you would show up with no game involved just to talk to a weird lizard online. Thank you, friends. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a super chat or a membership, or don't. Follow your heart. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Cheers.